All right, we're back. Holy crap! What a
Yeah, we
fucking
lost internet for a couple minutes.
Yeah, I was like looking down. I was getting all like into it and stuff, and then I was like, "Wait!" I looked at the little icon. I was like, "Wait, we don't have any internet." I don't even remember.
Yeah, and then we had to open up a new one, and we
Well,
tried.
I was like, "Well, I'll use my phone as a hotspot real quick," and then like I opened that one up, and then Tom's like, "Oh wait, no, I think the internet came back.
The internet came back.
The Wi-Fi came back." And then I was like, "Okay, well, I'm gonna shut down this one," and so I'll go in later and like clean it up and like delete that other one.
I'll go back into the other one and make sure everybody's not in there.
Yeah, because they're just like waiting around.
There's 7 in here now. Let me go back to the old one.
Oh my god. Jesus Christ.
See if there's anybody in here.
Yeah, just tell them to go to the one that says part 2 for real. Like I said, tomorrow when I go in and pull the audio and everything like that, I'll clean everything up. Or like later tonight, but I'll probably be too drunk, honestly, to fucking do anything that complicated. But yeah, I don't understand. Look, we don't live in the middle of nowhere, okay? I would call this semi-rural, if anything. But it's like, we lose the internet with alarming frequency.
It's because there's construction.
And yeah, and that's why. And I think that might be why. Because remember how I said, it might have cut off before we even said this, but yesterday our power was out for like almost 2 hours.
Yeah.
And no warning, no anything. It was just like 3:15 or something like that. Oh, all the power went out. We're like, okay, cool. What the fuck? Like, why is the power out?
Literally millions of people moved into Florida the last couple of years. So they're building all new housing for everybody. And we're in an area that's rapidly growing. And which in some ways that's good because more restaurants are showing up. In another way, I liked it when this was kind of the country. But now it's just becoming townhouses and golf courses.
Yeah, they're building shit everywhere. Yeah. And they evidently do not get any permits, or they don't really give a shit if they go through people's internet cables or power lines.
Yeah.
Or we've had our water go out a few times too.
Yeah.
And then we have to boil it like after they tell you to.
Power goes out, water goes out, internet goes out.
Like I said, with alarming frequency. Yeah. And I think it's almost all, the internet going out every single time it's construction. Because they're building something somewhere and they're just like, oh, oopsie, went through some fucking fiber optic cables or something like that. Too bad, so sad. We'll just pay the fine.
Yeah, you just pay the fine.
Meanwhile, our internet is out for like a day and a half.
Yeah.
You know?
They don't give a shit about digging through the ground.
It's fucking...
They have it worked out.
It's so infuriating.
They have it worked out. They're like, well, if we hit any cables or any other lines, we'll just pay the fine. It's cheaper to pay the fine than it is to go through this shit slowly.
And figure out where...
Yeah. They know exactly what they're doing.
Well, yeah. It's just so dumb, though. It's just kind of... I kind of feel like maybe no one is organized and shit, but I kind of feel like if you are, I don't even remember what fuck internet company do we have? Do we used to have optical tel? But I don't know.
Yeah, optical tel.
I think it's optical tel. And they actually gave free Wi-Fi to the whole neighborhood, like it's included.
Yeah. It's in our housing commission.
Yeah, in our what do you call it? It's not a gated community because it has a gate, but it's kind of like...
It is a gated community.
It was supposed to have a gate. It's just they never bothered to put one there. Yeah. So, which is fine with me. I don't really give a shit. Like our neighborhood we used to live in, Sanford, was a gated community. And to be honest, it was kind of a pain in the ass because you had to have the sticker, like for the gate to open. Like, and we lived right by the back gate, like literally 2 or 3 houses down from the back. Yeah. But my car had a sticker, but then I got in a wreck with that car and it got totaled and I had to get another one and I couldn't really afford to get another sticker. So I had to keep going through the front and it was a huge pain because not only was it way farther, like to get to the house because it was a huge neighborhood, but it's like you had to stop every time and there was always like people visiting and it's just, it was a nightmare.
Yeah, it keeps people out though.
It does, but I mean, doesn't keep out people on foot or, although we didn't have any problems. Honestly, we don't really have any problems here. Even though
some people did though.
Anybody could drive in. There have been
into cars.
They have been like kids like breaking into cars.
Yeah.
And taking shit. But ours hasn't been broken into. But I hear a lot of people whining about it on Nextdoor. Not whining about it, but saying it's like people, because like I said, it's not gated in here, and the houses are a lot farther apart.
I guarantee you it will be, eventually.
I mean,
they've already got a place they can put fucking.
There's nothing in there.
What's that?
Well, I thought you said our car would be broken into at some point.
What? What are you talking about?
No, you said because the way you said, "Oh, it will be though."
No,
I thought you meant, "Oh, our car will be broken."
It will be a gated community eventually.
They'll eventually put a gate there. I'm imagining.
It was built for one.
Yeah, they just didn't.
They'll get to it. They'll do it. People will get sick of shit, and they'll put one there. We'll have to, our fucking monthly fee will have to go up. You have to pay for all that.
Well, of course. It's like
private security and stuff.
Not like, we don't pay enough for this fucking shit. And like I said, that's what makes me mad is just kind of like I said, it's semi-rural. We're not out in the middle of nowhere, but it's kind of, like I said, semi-rural. And it's just kind of like, we paid so much money for this house. It's a nice house. It's a nice neighborhood. And it's like, they can't even keep the fucking internet on. For real.
Well, it's not them though.
I know it's not them, but it's
other
just
companies doing it.
But it's just kind of like, can someone please have a little bit of fucking oversight or something?
No.
It's just like
they don't care about you.
Like, look, some of us work remotely.
Yeah.
And I'm sure like some people, have medical devices in their house or something like that. When the power goes out, that fucks that shit all up.
See, here's the thing. There's a Facebook group for this.
Well,
community.
yeah.
So if anything goes wrong, you go on the Black Bear Reserve community. Go on there.
Everybody's immediately like, what the fuck?
We know what the neighbors are doing. We know what everybody's doing. And fucking, I post shit on there, and then I'll get all kinds of replies from fucking wives. Oh, that's so nice. Oh, look, just fucking funny shit. You know what I mean? Fucking,
so thirsty. They're
thirsty ass wives and shit. Because they can
They're
see
like,
my Facebook.
I've seen you out mowing the lawn.
Seen you mowing the lawn. seen you on that motorcycle. Look at your club photographs. You know what I mean? And it's always
you have stalkers that are on not next. One of them. I'm on the next door group.
One of them is a female bodybuilder.
Oh, really? Oh, you never told me that. Interesting.
Well, she didn't really say anything. She just thumbs up one of my pictures, one of my posts.
Oh, okay.
And I looked and she's fucking offering, and I went over to see who that was. It's a female bodybuilder, and she was like offering on her fucking Facebook, offering training routines and shit.
Oh, okay.
She's IFBB. She didn't say anything to me.
But she lives in this neighborhood.
She lives in this neighborhood. They make sure that you see them.
Well, yeah.
The ones that actually interact are like in their early 30s with 3 kids.
Yeah.
Yeah,
this is a big neighborhood. And like I said, it's not only big, it's like the houses where we lived in Sanford, that was a really nice neighborhood too. That was a gated community, but the houses were super close together. Here that like people have much bigger lots. Like our lot's almost an acre. There's other houses on the street obviously, but people have big ass yards. Like we have a big ass yard. We got fruit trees and garden, like we grow shit in the back and everything like that.
Yeah.
And it's really big. So people have like a lot more space here.
And then you have people who move here from New York who are they don't have the same norms as they do in the South. Like little kids riding around on golf carts or riding around on four-wheeler ATVs. They'll call the cops on them. And fucking the parents are like, whoever's calling the cops on my kids, fucking if you have a problem, come see me. This isn't Manhattan. Okay, this is the South. This is what we do here. They get mad with it. They get mean with it.
Here's the weird thing to me is that
this is not your culture. We're in the South.
I don't even think it's that. There's like a weird thing where, and I know this isn't exclusively a boomer thing, but boomers are on one hand they're constantly crying. It's like, oh, kids, they just sit in front of screens and they don't play outside anymore. If they go play outside, they call the cops on them.
They call the cops on them. Yeah.
What are you doing here? You know what I mean? You're not supposed to be here.
They're good kids. They're good kids. They're just they're on.
They're just playing outside.
They're on little bitty golf carts and 4-wheelers and little motorcycles, and they'll call the cops on them because those aren't street legal. Yeah, well, they're not on a fucking highway.
They're just in the neighborhood.
They're in the neighborhood.
There's not much traffic.
Yeah,
it's not like there's like it's like I said, it's a semi-rural neighborhood.
Yeah,
you see. Like in the morning, like a few cars will go past, like going to work or whatever, but it's like you don't really.
Yeah, and it's just and Southern culture, especially in Florida, they have a golf cart culture.
Oh, bitches love their golf carts.
Bitches love a golf cart, electric golf cart,
driving around the neighborhoods.
Yeah, and you just use a golf cart to go around your neighborhood.
Yeah. They're not going on the actual road.
They don't go on a highway. They'll drive across the grass.
They'll go to Dollar General.
They'll go to the store.
But that's right there.
Yeah, but they're not on a street. They're in the grass.
Yeah, you just try. You can. There's like when you come out the front of the neighborhood, like where the sign is.
Yeah.
There's just like a little strip of grass, And you can take that strip of grass, and then the Dollar General is literally like right there.
Yeah.
You could walk to it. It would take me 5 minutes.
And you'll
maybe
hear
not
like,
even that long.
You'll hear like a stereo going, and you look out, and it's a golf cart. A golf cart with a stereo on it.
Yeah.
With 3, 13, 14, 15-year-old girls hanging off of it.
We saw like 3
cruising
siblings.
For dudes. They're cruising for boys.
I went to Dollar General the other day, and there's like 3 little kids. It was it was 3 siblings, you could tell.
Yeah.
And they were pretty little, and they had driven the golf cart to Dollar General. But like I said, you don't have to go on the road. It's right there. It's literally like right there.
See, you can't drive in the United States until you're about 15, and you have to have your learner's permit at 15.
Yeah, you get your learner's permit at 15. Right.
So if you want your kid to be able to drive around the neighborhood, you can't give him a car. You'll give him a golf cart. Yeah. It's electric. It can't go fast.
Yeah.
It's not bothering anybody. It doesn't make any noise. So they give him a golf cart.
Yeah.
And they'll go all
just don't go on the main fucking road with it, obviously.
And we're on a golf course.
Yeah, it's okay.
The center of this thing is a golf course.
So people
but it's not just here.
People drive around the neighborhood all the time.
Yeah, all the neighborhoods have golf carts in them. Yeah. It's a Florida thing.
And probably I imagine it's probably a California thing too.
Maybe. And then they have customization kits where they pimp it out to look like a BMW. It's got BMW fucking wheels and or they put stereo systems, and some of them are 4-wheeled all-terrain vehicles that are not a golf cart. It's got an engine in it. It's like some special forces would have. It's not really a 4-wheeled motorcycle. It's like, it started off with a John Deere Gator, which is a single cylinder, I think it's 500 cc's, green box. And it's kind of like a golf cart, but it was gasoline powered. Then they came out more deluxe ones. They have suspensions and they can go faster. And Special Forces uses those. But little kids, they give them to kids too. And it's not street legal. Technically, you're not supposed to be riding it around.
No.
But they do it anyway. That's just the way the South is. The cops don't care.
No, as long as you're not doing anything super blatantly
Now, if you try to
dangerous.
Take that out on a street and drive it,
well,
you're going to be a big shit.
You're going to get in trouble.
Yeah. But if you're just driving outside a neighborhood, they don't care.
No, they don't care. And like I said, there's not hardly any traffic around here.
And technically, this is not public because this is a private neighborhood.
Yeah.
It's not technically open to traffic. It's kind of like being in your own driveway.
Yeah.
The whole neighborhood.
So nobody cries about it.
Well, some people will cry.
Well, but they cry about everything.
They just cry about anything. And they'll be able to look, if you have a problem with my child, fucking ask my child who the family, who their father is, and you come to me. You don't call the cops because my kid's on a motorcycle. Now, you know who it is.
Now, if your kid is doing something like blatantly illegal or blatantly obnoxious, yeah, I might call the cops. But just riding around on a golf cart, I don't really give a shit about.
But the thing is our culture is it's handled between parents, not cops. You don't get the cops involved. Our cops actually fight crimes. And I got that shit on video. Florida cops fuck people up. Don't call the cops on little kids. They're not doing anything wrong.
No, I said if they were doing anything blatantly illegal. If they were like stabbing a bum.
Stabbing people and robbing, yeah.
That's what I meant.
What they're complaining about is fucking 13-year-old little white girls in shorts riding around in golf carts. Cruising for
they'll drive past
little 13-year-old boys.
Now they do play that music super
they play music.
Like I can hear it literally.
They're trying to call the little boys out to look at them.
Like it's in the room with me. That's how loud it is.
Yeah.
Like from out the fucking... Because my office right here is directly over the garage.
Yeah.
And so the driveway is right back there, like behind those windows. And if somebody drives by playing their stereo really loud, yeah, you can hear it like it's in here. Like if I'm playing it, it's super loud. And it'll rattle the walls too. Camp Guy says, I like Dollar General. Publix too. They have better exotic fruit. Yeah,
Publix is the best.
Publix is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
We have a Publix about, how far is that? About a mile? It's not even a mile, is it? It's walkable. Yeah. I could walk there if I had to.
I said, I'm pretty sure they had 4-wheelers before golf. I don't really know what you're talking about.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, 4-wheelers have been around forever.
But I'm just saying everybody drives golf carts around.
Yeah, everybody drives golf carts.
Like it's a big thing.
Yeah.
Like a lot of houses have golf carts. And the little kids drive them around.
Yeah.
And they will take them up to Dollar General. Because like I said, you wouldn't let your kids drive the golf cart to Publix because you have to kind of get...
That's several miles.
It's not a major road, but it's a mile or two. And it's... it's an actual road.
Yeah.
But the Dollar General is right there. You can just like
That's the
stay.
corner store.
You can just stay on the grass.
Yeah.
And you're fine. You could just like go right there.
Yeah,
and I have seen them do that before.
Yeah.
Well, the cool thing about in Dollar General, if you're not from the U.S. or I don't know, Dollar General, is it national or is it regional?
Regional. It's southern, I think.
I mean, I think they have them other places too. But Dollar General is their whole business model.
Food desert.
Yeah, to put these small footprint stores that kind of have everything in places where there's not really many other options, like in food deserts and things like that. Some of them have a little bit of fresh produce. Ours does not. But there is one that's a few miles from here
It's
that
got
does.
milk and eggs
but it's got like kind of all
meat.
the staples, you know what I mean?
Hamburger.
Like, and then they have a bunch of other shit too, like car shit, pet food,
bathroom supplies,
rugs, like shampoo, like, and they have like little furniture kind of shit, like all that kind of stuff.
Electric toaster ovens, cooking utensils. It's not high end; it's low end.
Considering how small it is,
it's got a lot in it.
I was actually shocked at the range of shit that they had.
It's got auto supply. You can get transmission fluid, oil.
Yeah, most of the time,
fluid.
What you need, they got cosmetics, they got toys, they got birthday cards. They got everything.
It's an American general store, and they're everywhere.
Yeah,
if you're in the South,
and they're little, but they have like a fuck ton of stuff in there. I don't know how they get it all.
And it's very inexpensive, and it's the same quality stuff that you can get. Like they sell some of that shit at Publix. It's twice the price.
Yeah, they got brand name shit in there.
It's brand name, but
they have their own brand too, called Clover Valley.
Yeah,
but
they can keep it. The price is really low. Because of their delivery system and the fact that there's no decor at all in the stores, and the staff is minimum.
Yeah, there's only like staff. 1 or 2 people.
Yeah.
Like if like our friend Stu works there, and he's in the chat sometimes, because we see him like every time we go over there because he's always working there. But yeah, they only have a couple of people working, and they're very small.
Imagine a tiny Walmart.
Yeah,
it's like a tiny Walmart.
But like I said,
big 7-Eleven.
I was always surprised at like the range of stuff you could get in there.
Yeah.
Considering how small it is. Like I said, and there are ones that have like more fresh produce. We don't have that. There's one that's it's probably like, I want to say it's probably 7 or 8 miles from here. Like another one that's slightly bigger that does have like a small like fresh produce section. Most of them don't have that. They have like the refrigerated stuff. But most of the stuff is, like dry goods or, like cereal, granola bars, coffee, like that kind of stuff. It's, non-perishables. But you can get ice cream in there. You can get, bacon, milk, orange juice, eggs, like that kind of shit. And it's pretty reasonable. Like we go there to get pretty much most things you can get there. Because, like, if you don't have to drive all the way down to Publix. Like I said, it's literally like it's 5 minutes down the fucking road. We'll go to Publix if we want, like, something specific or if we want, like, some fresh meat or, like, fresh produce or something like that. But most things, like, if I just need to get some fucking mascara or some cat treats or something like that, like, 9 times out of 10, we're going to Dollar General because it's right there. And it's just, like, it's either the same price or cheaper than Publix. So why wouldn't you? Although I will say that some things like
they got all the little Debbie cakes, they got all the candy,
they got candy, anything,
fucking chips, all kinds of chips, all kinds of fucking cookies, and I was gonna make a sub channel on our channel here.
You totally should.
Oh,
that would slam. I think a lot of people would watch that.
A cooking show based on the shit you get out of Dollar General store. And
especially in this economy, I feel like a lot of people watch that because I really like those, because there are a couple of YouTubers that do that, that go to like, not just Dollar General, but they'll go to like just Aldi or like cheaper stores. And they'll be like, I'm going to make like, a meal for 3 people for $5. You know what I mean? And it'll be like a challenge. And they're kind of showing how you do that. And then they break everything down. And it's really, really good.
I would do mine based on nutrition. How much protein you're going to get? What did it cost you? Could you take this when you're on? Could you eat this on steroids and gain muscle?
Well, yeah, you could actually. Like that might be good because that might be like an underserved. niche. There's a lot of ones that kind of show you how to do stuff on a budget, like just from, and it's specifically geared toward people that are in food deserts, and that's all they have is Dollar General or a dollar store.
I could live out of Dollar General.
And and all you have is this kind of food that's in here, and it's like, here's what you can do with it that's gonna make your dollar go farther. Like you can feed more people.
They have frozen
and it's actually
hamburger.
Kind of nutritious.
They have cold cuts. They have good cheese. They have good milk. They have good eggs. They have flour, sugar.
Yeah.
They have yeast.
Yeah, you can get all that.
Make all the doughs, all the cakes, all the breads. They have bread, but you can make some specialty breads. You can make pizza dough. Everything's there.
Yeah, it's just some people don't know what they're looking for.
You're right.
And so I think that's why those channels are really popular. And actually, I really like watching them because they're really creative, like the shit they come up with. Like sometimes they'll go to, we don't have this here, but in other parts of the country, they have something called Winco. And you can buy stuff. It's super, super cheap. And you can buy stuff in bulk, like beans and nuts and things like that. So you can go and you can buy like this much, like in a bag. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's like they'll go and it's like, I'm going to buy one lemon and 40 cents worth of lentils or whatever the hell. And it's like, and they can make this meal for like $1. You know what I mean? Yeah. So there's a lot of demand for that kind of content. Like I said, especially in this economy, a lot of people are watching that.
How to eat out of Dollar General for cheap, but enough to fucking high performance food.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like good, because you could eat any old bullshit carbohydrate shit.
Yeah, I mean they have like all kind of prepared foods. Like you could just go in there and just eat like cereal or cookies or
they have canned oysters. They got
whatever, but they have
fish.
They got tuna. They got all kind of shit you could eat in there. Like I said, most of it, other than the refrigerated section, which is not huge, it's all like shelf stable stuff, which tends to have a lot of preservatives and stuff. But it's like if you know what you're looking for, like you said, they have cans of tuna. They have shit like that that's actually like fairly nutritious.
The main thing in there for protein and health, the main thing that they have in there is eggs. The eggs for the price is pretty low. That's a lot of protein. You can do a lot with eggs. You can hard boil those eggs.
We eat so many eggs, you guys. You don't even know.
I love the eggs and whip into fucking mayonnaise. Real mayonnaise. The cheese is good there. And they have a decent variety of block cheese. And milk for what you're paying. If you're working out, you're trying to fucking build size and shit on a budget. You go for the milk and the eggs and cheese. People think that cheese is mostly fat, but a lot of muscle's built on fat. A lot of people don't realize that. They've been miseducated. They think that if you eat things that are fat, you'll become fat. No. That's not really how you eat a lot of carbohydrate, which is sugar.
Yeah, I kind of feel like carbs will make fat,
but
make you fat
more than become fat.
More than actual fat will.
If you look at what bears do, when bears are very well fed and they're catching fish out of the stream, they eat the head and the guts. They'll throw the meat away because there's a lot of nutrition and a lot of muscle building nutrients inside guts. Nah, I hate guts.
No, I don't.
But
most people aren't gonna eat.
Yeah, but bears will just eat guts. They throw the meat away.
Well, I'm not a bear, and I'm not eating that. And besides, I love fish. You
can build a lot of muscle on it.
It's one of my favorite things. Yeah. Honestly, I guess because I grew up in Florida, literally on the ocean. I grew up in Daytona Beach, which is right next to the Atlantic Ocean. So you get fresh seafood, and it's hilarious because
we're talking about golf. We're not talking about golf. Yeah, we're talking about fish, bitch.
He's talking about golf.
Yeah. He was saying that we were talking about golf.
No, he said he's talking about
he's talking about golf.
Yeah, he said I'm talking about golf.
Okay.
But yeah, the weird thing is, I love pretty much all kinds of seafood. Like if it came out of the ocean, give it to me. I'm gonna eat it. But with some caveats, obviously. But my sister is completely the opposite. Even though we're very, very alike, in other words, she's 7 years younger than me. But she hates seafood. She likes tuna, but she's like, yeah, that's as far as I'm going. She will not eat any kind of fish or shellfish or anything. And never has. She's always been super grossed out by it. But so I don't know, man. When I was growing up, that's all I ever. Man, fish is one of my favorite things. It's one of my favorite things. Fish and shrimp and fucking grilled oysters, and man, I'll eat that all day long. Not a huge fan of raw oysters, but they're all right. It's not my favorite thing, but I'll eat them, you know? I like them grilled better. Grilled and, like, dipped in butter. That's, like, super good. You know what I mean? Strangely, one of the best places, because like I said, I grew up in Daytona Beach. One of the best places there, shit, I can't remember the name of it now. But it was, I'm pretty sure it's still there. I haven't been to Daytona in a long time. But there was this tiny, tiny little restaurant. The fuck was that place called? I'll probably remember it like 20 minutes from now. But it was like right on the mainland side of the Granada Bridge. Because if you don't know, Daytona Beach is... Florida kind of goes... The East Coast goes up, and then there's like this little, like, thing that sticks out like that. So it's like... So in Daytona, there's a river, the Halifax River. And then... there's another like strip of land, and then there's the ocean. Like, but the strip of land is only like, it's small, you know what I mean? So right before you go over this bridge over the Halifax, and then there's the Atlantic Ocean over there, there was this place, and it was really tiny. They had their own fleet of boats. They've been there for like as long as I can remember. Like, they've been there since I was a kid. They have their own fleet of boats. They go out every day. They catch fish, they bring it back to the place, and it's a fish market in one side, and then it's kind of like a half-assed sort of restaurant, like takeout kind of place, like in the other half. And so you could go in there and get like grouper sandwiches and like red snapper and all this other kind of shit, and holy crap, right off the boat. The shit was like right off the boat. Oh, so good. I kind of miss it. Like, you know what I mean? I didn't go that often, but man, it was so fucking good. So fucking good. Klaus says what kind of fish they had there. I'm sorry. Are you drunk? I'm not sure. Like, I'm kind of drunk too, but I'm like, really. Camp Guy said I could not believe the development in the Florida Panhandle. We went back after about 25 years, and I thought I was in Hong Kong with the land complete. Yeah, and it's just where we used to live in Sanford, where we used to do the show from. When we first moved there in 2012, I think it was 2012 when we first moved to that house in Sanford. And it was not rural, but I mean, there was stuff like around there, but it was kind of out in the country. By the time we left that house 10 years later, it was like built up. It's like completely suburban now. Right around the corner, they built like a huge, very high end like townhouse thing. There was a Walgreens. There was massive, I don't want to call it a strip mall, but it was like a whole big thing. It had all these restaurants and all this other. I'm like, holy crap! There's a Starbucks. There's everything. There's a McDonald's. There's a bank. There's this massive hotel. Like, they built all this stuff, and there's a movie theater, all kind of crap. And that was just like in the 10 years that we lived there. And then when we moved out here, like, this out here seemed like kind of remote-ish. But this is slowly building up too. Like, the dollar store was here, Dollar General was here when we got here, and the houses were here when we got here, and the Publix was here, down the street, and there's a Japanese restaurant, there's a Domino's, there's like some other shit. But since we've been here, they built a McDonald's, they built a Dunkin' Donuts, and some other shit. But they're building stuff like all over the place. And because they're doing so much construction, like I said, that's how we got started on this topic. Our power and internet keeps going out because they keep going through the fiber optic cables, evidently, without giving
cut through that shit.
One single shit about it.
And then be like, that's the part of the system.
Oh, well.
They're not going to spend their time fucking contacting all these companies. They're just going to go break through it. And then that company will figure out, hey, man, they come, you broke through our shit right here. It's okay, we'll pay the fine.
Yeah, they're like, oh, well.
And they'll reroute it.
Too bad for the people that have no power. Because yesterday when our power went out, I thought it was just us, or I thought it was just the neighborhood. They said, no, the Publix, like a couple miles away, they're like, no, they're running on a generator too. So they knocked the whole area out. So I was like, yeah, good job.
Camp Guy says they built condos and retail in every square inch, yep.
Yeah, it's like, and it's all kind of going that way. So I don't, it's probably not going to continue forever.
See, she's saying that's on the Florida Panhandle.
Yeah.
The Panhandle's going to be high end eventually.
Yeah. Even though right now, I mean,
it's gonna be high end
for a long time.
It's on the coast.
For a long time, we called that Alabama South.
Yeah, it's like Alabama.
Because it was, you know what I mean. I've only been there to the Panhandle. I mean, Florida's massive, so I've only been to the Panhandle like probably a couple times.
Panhandle's going to be like Biloxi. Biloxi's nice. Yeah. Biloxi, Gulfport, Mississippi.
The beaches up there are nice. We'll say that. And I will say too that generally the beaches on the west coast of Florida, like on the Gulf of Mexico, are nicer than the beaches on the Atlantic coast, but not always. But like I said, I grew up in Daytona Beach, which is slightly trashy. But I kind of feel like the beaches on the West Coast, because I lived in Tampa, Clearwater, St. Pete area for a little while. The beaches over there are much nicer. Like the water looks nicer. They look cleaner. The thing about Daytona Beach is that on a lot of stretches, you can still drive on it. Because, you know, people are like, we want to drive on the beach because it's kind of a big thing. But it makes it like a lot dirtier. Watch your car. It makes it a lot dirtier, and it makes it like a lot like not as pretty.
That shit will fuck up the undercarriage of your car too. That
salt. Yeah.
You go right to the fucking car wash.
But I remember when I was a kid, like that was a big thing. You would drive down to the beach. You can drive on parts of the beach now. I think parts of it are off limits, like especially like where sea turtles like nest and stuff. Like you're not allowed to. But a lot of it you can still drive on, and you can kind of tell it looks kind of crappy. You know what I mean? Like it's better if you can't drive on it. But people bitched, so they were like, okay, fine, you can still. Otherland23 says, when are you going to read and review more Peter Straub? Loved your reviews of Mrs. God and the Hellfire Club. You know, I probably should. I don't remember if I ever did. Ooh, you know what I should do? I should probably do a book versus movie on Ghost Story, because there's like a lot of differences there. Also, I would like to review what was that? Coco, that one that he did, because I remember really liking that book, but I haven't read it in a really long time. But eventually I will get around to it. I promise. It just might take a while. You know what I mean? Because actually I don't have that, but I have some other of his books, but I don't think I have Coco. I think I checked that one out of the library. But I would like to reread that. And I want to do a book versus movie of Ghost Story, like I said. Because I really like the movie, but I'm not going to say it's nothing like the book, but it's only like a little bitty part of the book, because the book is like a doorstop. There's a lot of stuff that goes on in that book, and they only adapted like a small part of it, which I think was the right decision. I do like that movie, but there was so much more going on in that book that they didn't like put in the movie. So that might actually be interesting to do, because I don't know if I have another channel called The Scare Salon, and I haven't posted anything on there for probably a month or two, and I need to get back to that. But I do some book versus movie stuff over there. Like I did Burnt Offerings. I did a couple Shirley Jackson ones. I think I did We Have Always Lived in the Castle. No, was it? Yeah. And I did Haunting of or Hell House, Richard Matheson, comparing it to the 1973 movie. But yeah, I like doing those.
Look who's here.
Well, hey.
What's up, Pookie Pants? I'm gonna call her Pookie Pants. What you doing?
Yeah, Otherland said, I read the book last year and watched the movie. Yeah. Totally different, but I like them both. Yeah, I like them both too. But like I said, and I understand why, because you couldn't adapt all of that
like a little cannonball.
To a... Look at Pookie.
She's like a little cannonball.
She is.
Like
I call her a meatloaf.
Yeah, like a little fat round meatloaf, like a little cannonball. Go ahead.
She gets very offended.
Yeah, she's like,
I try not to say mean things like that, because she totally knows what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I told her the other day. Oh, I said something to her the other day, and she looked at me with such a fucking look. She's like, I know what that means, bitch. Like, she looked at me like she gave me such a stare. Oh, I know what it was.
Klaus says that Friday's his drunk day, man. Friday and Saturday is our drunk. We drunk at home on Friday.
Yeah, Saturday night we're drunk out.
Yeah, dance night.
Because that's when. Although last Saturday, but last weekend was different, because Friday night we went out. If you remember, we went to Abyss, and I got super fucked up on Friday. Well, because we drank on the show, and then we went out, and then I had a few drinks, and then we were kind of like having a good time. We were like, oh hey, like the guy that remember the guy that I put that whose photo I put on the flyer.
Yeah.
And we're like, We're gonna buy him. We're gonna buy him some shots.
Flesh, yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna buy him some shots.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay. So we all had shots, and then like we were just kept drinking and drinking because we were having a good time. We just kept drinking and drinking. And then the end of the night, I was like, woo! I couldn't even dance anymore. I was like holding on to the bar. I was
Flesh
like,
Flesh
Tom's
is,
like, go dance. I'm like, I don't think I can, dude. I'm kind of dizzy right now.
Flesh is probably like 21. Little skinny dude with a mohawk. He was our cover boy. In there and all his fucking punk rock PVC with his fucking nipples showing tape over his nipples.
Big ass mohawk.
Big old mohawk. His mohawk's like a foot tall.
It's awesome. I love that the younger ones are getting into the death rock look, because that's my favorite. I love that fucking shit.
Yeah, he thanked me for putting him on there, and I said, "Who are you?"
I was like, "That's me."
I did that. I said, "My wife did that."
Well, it wasn't.
I said, "My wife did that."
I got the picture from Ray. That's who sent me the picture.
Yeah, Ray is the girl me and...
She's the photographer.
Yeah, she's our photographer.
Yes.
Yeah, we've become friends with her. And she's young, American, Puerto Rican chick, all gothed out, just shows up in her little outfits. And yeah, she's cool. She's a very good hostess. I was watching her. I told her, I said, you're a very good hostess. She says, you did a good job. She said, you haven't seen the photos yet. I said, yeah, but I'm watching you. Oh,
she takes nice pictures. I really like her pictures. Because I've done a couple, because her and Dimitri, like, I'm in a group chat with them, and whenever we do Abyss, because for a while we didn't, we didn't have her, so Dimitri was like, I don't know, just put a picture of Jen on there, put a picture of you on there, put a picture of Tom on there, put a picture of Laura on there, or somebody like one of our friends. And I'm just like, okay, I gotta go find an old one or go ask the person, hey, can I use this picture of you or whatever. But then we got Ray in on it, and she's a photographer, and she takes a fuck ton of pictures, like, out at the clubs. And so she started sending me pictures, like, every month, which is much easier. So then I could, because that's kind of the same thing. I also work for, I'm a graphic designer, if you didn't know. I also do stuff for Communion After Dark, which is like a gothic, quote-unquote, radio show out of Tampa. And they do a show every week. They play like a lot of new music and stuff. And every week they put a local model on the, event poster. They have like a little poster that comes out like every month. Like, hey, this is our show and this is who's DJing and blah, blah, blah. So every week I get a photo of whoever the model is that month and I make the thing. Or whoever the model is that week, rather. I do it every week. Usually on Tuesdays or Wednesdays. For the weekend.
I'm gonna show him Ray.
Yeah. Good. Show him the Abyss flyer I did too with
That's Ray.
Yeah. Yeah, so she comes to Abyss, and like I said, she's a photographer. So she has started sending me photos because we wanted to start kind of doing the same thing, particularly with the Abyss flyers, where we were like, it would be good if we had good photos of like locals that we could put on there, and she takes really good pictures.
Look how beautiful her videos are. That's here in Florida. Where is that, Jen? Is that somewhere in Clearwater?
It might be. Yeah, that might be over on the West Coast somewhere.
Yeah, people don't realize that stuff like this exists in Florida, but this used to be Spanish territory, and Florida has been here since the 1400s. There's been European late 1400s.
Yeah, Spanish got here early 1500s.
Early 1500s, yeah. Yeah, and she's making videos and all that stuff.
That's why I always recommend if you come to Florida, like, do Disney and all that. It's super fun, but like, please go to St. Augustine.
Yeah, that might be around St. Augustine, huh? But
I don't think that is.
But when we first found her, she was making these kind of videos, and she wanted to join the team. Look at her; she's up there doing her goth dance in the middle of the cemetery. And we put her on the team, and
these are like the youths.
This is the youth, and
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, and she does our TikTok, all our TikTok material. She's very good at that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
and she's a really good promoter and hostess and photographer.
Yeah, because Lord knows I don't have time to do all of that, and I don't even have a TikTok account. I thought about getting one, but I was just like, I think at this point it's moved on to something else, so I'm just like, I probably shouldn't even bother. But you need to have that presence, and I was like, I need somebody else that's younger
Yeah, you need someone that has a lot of all the energy.
Well, and because I don't really have time, you know what I mean? Like, because I have a job and,
right?
You know, I manage social media for like car dealerships and shit. I don't really need. Unfortunately, I don't really have time to do it for golf clubs, which I would like better. But
I think Ray just turned 21 or 22, so she has a lot of energy. And when we're gone, she's going to be doing clubs.
Yeah,
she's going to be hosting clubs,
and that's fine.
Yeah.
That's good. We're passing
it down.
I mean, you know, not yet. I'm not ready to die yet.
Look how good her her Queen of the Damned outfit was.
Yeah, see? Epic.
Yeah.
Like, she takes this shit very seriously.
Yeah, she's making her Queen of the Damned fucking cosplay. Yeah.
Camp Guy says Florida has the Salvador Dali Museum. Indeed, it does.
Yeah.
And it's rad. It's in St. Petersburg. I went there like it's been a while, but man, it's so cool. Like I said, if you go to Florida, it's not just all beaches and Disney and stuff. That shit's cool, but there's a lot of cool shit here that's like not.
If you want to follow Ray on Instagram, you can find her under Sushi Lady, one word. And just search that, and she'll come up as Miss Draven, and you can follow her there. And from there, you can get. She does all her nightclub promotion through there too.
Yeah. And she always, every time there's an abyss, she takes like a bajillion pictures.
Yeah.
And all of them are good. Actually, that one picture that, weirdly, that we're both using for our profile picture, and we did not coordinate that. We're not one of those weird couples. It's like, hey, let's use the same picture. It's like, I just like that picture and he liked that picture, and then we separately just put it up as the profile picture. Yeah. And then I was like, oh, now we look like we're the same person.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I just like that picture. I'm pretty sure she took that. Did she take that?
She's taking all the new photos.
I don't remember if she took that or Charisse took that.
Which one?
The picture that we're using for our profile pictures.
No, she took that.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Because I know Charisse had taken some, but I'm pretty sure Ray took that one.
Yeah, I think Ray took that one.
But yeah.
She's got orders that she can't take pictures of us without permission, though. Because she remember some of the ones that we took before, and they're like horrible.
I don't really remember.
So, yeah.
And that's
change it up, though.
Well, see, that's the thing. It's just kind of like.
She'll try to sneak some on you.
I never have my glasses when I'm in the club, because I just usually leave them in the car.
Yeah.
And it's like, so people like will take a picture and then they'll show it to me like, look, and I'm just like, but I can't see that. It's just like one big blur. So it's like, and then sometimes they'll post it later and I'm like, Although most of the ones that have been taken to me lately have looked okay.
Yeah.
When they came out later. But man, that guy that takes, what the fuck is that dude's name, man? And I can't remember. He's a friend of Rob's. He's been around forever. And he took pictures at Abyss, and he was also at Barbarella like last Saturday. Because he was like, oh, you guys came out 2 nights in a row. And he's like, did you see the pictures I took of you guys? Because they came, or the picture he took of me. He's like, oh, it came out really good. And I was like, no, I didn't see it. And he's like, oh, it's on my blog. And then I was like, and then I couldn't find it.
Somebody says, nice house crepes. He must be talking about that thing that Ray was walking through.
Oh, yeah. It's not a
house. It's a mission, isn't it?
Something like that.
It's an old Spanish.
Yeah, like it's like some museum thing.
Yeah, it's almost like a museum now. You can go see it. But that's like shit from the 1600s.
Yeah.
Florida has been inhabited, and it's had a huge European influence going back hundreds of years. America's been here for a long time. I hear people are saying, "Oh, America's such a young country." No, not really. Before there was the United States, there was a bunch of colonies here, and it was still functioning.
Well, even before the colonies, there were like tons of tribes and shit.
You had a bunch of Native Americans here in the Mayans and the Aztecs and what they were doing.
Teach people much about that, sadly.
And people don't realize that a lot of the European governments have been rebooted, and they've got rebooted in the 1800s. Like I think the United States is older than Germany. There was a Germany before the 1800s, but I think the German government of today, I think actually kind of more like something from the 1800s, because its borders kept changing. And a lot of the borders of Europe kept changing. Yeah, you had races there and cultures there that would go back thousands of years. But countries only live about 250 years before something goes wrong and they have to reboot it.
But the thing is, we had people here on the American continent like 10, 11,000 years ago at least, too. Yeah. It's just they don't teach people much about that. Yeah. I think that's getting better, but...
They'll say that, China's 6,000 years old. No, it isn't. That's all Chinese propaganda. there have been Chinese people as a race there for 6,000 years. But China's really a creation of the 1980s, after the Chinese Cultural Revolution. Because
well, it just depends on how you're defining.
It was the modern China has nothing to do with traditional China. Those people are all dead. They got killed off during the Cultural Revolution, and they made a whole new China in the 1980s. And when the Soviet Union collapsed, they fucking panicked and they became corporate because they saw why the Soviet Union collapsed. They didn't want that to happen. So after the 90s, the new China that you're dealing with now was created. And it has nothing to do with what was happening in the 1960s or the 1800s. They're just not related. The only thing that's related is the race of people that is there. The form of government is totally different. The Constitution is totally different. Just,
Just don't worry about it.
That's like saying modern Egyptians have something to do with those pyramids. They don't. The modern Egyptians have more to do with Islam than anything else. So,
like I said, just don't worry about it too much.
Yeah.
Like, it's cool to have like a long history and everything like that, but it's just kind of like history's complicated and you can't get too tied up in
things are being rebooted over and over again.
Yeah. And always have been. That's always been the way.
Yeah.
So it's like don't get too tied up in this whole lineage of I think that's kind of a dangerous mindset to have.
And they go, well, it's only 250 years old, America. Yeah, but the people that inhabited it, actually, you can trace their ancestry back into Europe. So the people in the United States today, whether they're Hispanic or white, you could say they're basically descendants of Rome. You could, because they did directly descend from Rome. We're a copy of Rome, our government. They were bringing back the Republic. Is it Rome? No. And it's also not Europe. But our ancestors all came from over there, unless you were African. And then they didn't come from there. And then the Mesoamericans that were here, they've been here forever. They still are here, but they just interbred with Spaniards. So, they all have a... Yeah. They all
That's
have
why,
kind of
like
European
I said, I don't
history.
really worry about it because it's just kind of like everyone's history is complicated and it's just kind of like, I don't know. I think the whole idea of it is kind of dumb.
Well, everybody wants to throw their dick on the table about who was here first. You know what I mean? Who is older.
But it doesn't matter.
Well, actually, you can't tell because the government's
That's what
rebooted
I mean.
over
So it doesn't matter.
If you look at the fucking history, the borders of the countries are constantly changing.
Yeah. What do you think, like, fucking, people like, Hispanic people that live in Texas and stuff like that, they're like, hey, the border crossed us, okay? We've been here, like, our family's been here for generations.
Yeah.
Oh, and suddenly it's Texas now. You know what I mean? It's just
Texas was an independent country,
right,
for a while.
So it's just kind of
like it was
like
half Mexican and Spanish.
They're like, we didn't do anything. We just been here for a long time. Yeah. It's like that. Y'all changed the borders. We didn't change anything.
Yeah, things got absorbed. Like Spain was part of Florida. Was part of Spain. It was part of the Spanish Empire. It got purchased though.
Yeah, eventually.
It got purchased in the 1800s, or early 1800s. But Andrew Jackson purchased it. It also had to do with a bunch of Seminole wars that happened with the Seminole Indians. Spain was kind of using them as mercenaries.
Florida history is actually quite interesting. Like I said, and if you come to Florida, if you visit Florida, please just take a day. Really, you don't. I mean, I was gonna say you don't need more than that. But go to St. Augustine at least because it's really and learn about some of the history there because it's actually really fascinating. Yeah, St. Augustine is the oldest continually occupied city in the United States.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because you'll have people from up north make weird comments about why are all these Spanish speakers here inside Florida? They were here before you.
They were here first.
Yeah, this was Spain. This was Spain. It got purchased.
They were here first.
It got purchased. Yeah, and it's ridiculous.
They were here before Plymouth Rock.
Yeah. They were here before the English colonies were there, and it's ridiculous because people of the British Empire and people of the Spanish Empire and the Portuguese Empire here in the New World intermarried from day one. We're all interrelated.
Yeah.
So
like I said, it's just
talking
silly.
about. They're all Europeans. They're just Southern Europeans.
It's
really
silly to worry about it.
Stupid. Yeah.
It's just kind of I don't know. I never really worried about it. My mom's side of the family.
Well, some people like to cause division.
Well, of course.
Yeah. You can make money by causing division.
My mom's side of the family likely came from England, Ireland area, but many, many generations ago. My dad's side of the family, I know my great granddad was Blackfeet Indian, but I don't really know much about it beyond that. But my family's been here for many generations. Tennessee on my dad's side, and DC, Baltimore area for my mom's side. So more, that's not really New England. That's kind of more
both sides of my family were in the Civil War. So, so that means we were here for a long time.
So yeah, we've been here a long time.
A long time, yeah. So, but it's just funny how a lot of people will cause all kinds of division that is kind of artificial. That's not really there. The New World was always an extension of Europe in many ways, because they came in here and fucking colonized it. They just did, you know. Like, there wasn't any other than Mexico. There weren't any. What was it? Teotihuacan? No, what was the name of the where Mexico City is now? That's where the biggest city in the New World was. All right, that was really the only like super big city that they had here. It was bigger than anything that the Spanish had ever seen. Bigger than a European city.
We got a lot more room to spread out.
Having massive fucking human sacrifices and all kinds of shit, which is cool. That's just the way. But you talk about religion, they were fucking religious.
That's kind of.
They took that shit seriously, man, and they just all kind of blended together, you know. But it's funny because on the Conan channels that me and my friends have, we're getting so many Hispanic guys on there. It's speaking in Spanish. They're not even speaking in English. They don't have access to the English translations of Robert E. Howard. They're talking about how much they love Conan. And I said, well, of course you love Conan. It's because that's from Texas. And Texas was half Mexico, basically. It
Still
is.
It's
a mixture of the two. Right. And there's a lot of Latin influence in Howard's writings. And basically, Conan was kind of like a North American version of a luchador. You know, the luchador, the guys that fucking the wrestlers, Mexican wrestlers, big
El
guy.
Santo.
Because he's kind of El Santo and shit. He's kind of like a superhero. He doesn't have superpowers other than he's big, he can fight, he's a good guy, and he's got wisdom. Yeah, he's like a barbarian. That's all it is. So, and they're both honor cultures. So, yeah, of course Hispanics like fucking Conan. What are you talking about? He's like a luchador, and it's a western too. And people don't understand how cowboy Central and South America actually is. They had vaqueros, bandidos, and all this. Everything from the Wild West, they had it.
Yeah.
Just watch a fucking spaghetti western, fucking like Fistful of Dollars or something, where it's
made in Italy.
Made in Italy, but they understood it though.
They did. Weirdly.
They understood it. Yeah.
I kind of, you know what the weird thing about it is? I kind of feel like a lot of times you will see a movie that just like perfectly encapsulates, and I kind of feel like even the movie that we discussed last Monday, which was American Honey, and the director of that was a British woman. And I was just kind of like, sometimes people from other countries like get us maybe more than we do.
Yeah. Well,
which is kind of strange.
Anglo Americans and Latin Americans had a Old West history. They had a Old West experiences, and really a lot of the cool shit was happening in contested territories out in the Southwest. So that's a good place to tell a story. It was kind of an apocalyptic thing, so it was kind of like Mad Max. And fucking what was his name? Fucking who's the dude that did fucking Fistful of Dollars, $2 more?
Sergio Leone.
Sergio Leone. Yeah. Epic fucking scores to those movies. Sergio Leone basically was bringing Mad Max to the screen, but it was in a post-apocalyptic Wild West where it's Anglo meets Latin.
It really captured
something. Fucking captured it. That's what it was
about
like.
that. And that really resonated with a lot of Americans, obviously.
And that's the way, that was more realistic, because they were all, and there was a lot of moral ambiguity to the Old West. It was survival of the fittest. It was the laws of nature. It wasn't about good versus evil. A lot of times it was evil versus evil. There was no good.
Or slightly
good. Or
versus...
yeah, right. So Sergio Leone understood how to tell these stories, even though the Italians really weren't here.
That's what I mean. That's what's kind of crazy.
He could see it though.
But see, the thing about it, like, look, I'm not a big Western girl, but I love Italian horror and I love Giallo movies. And even though Giallo movies, I would argue, are not particularly American, there was something in them that kind of resonates still, because if you didn't know, I kind of feel like a lot of American slasher movies were absolutely based on John Carpenter was like a huge, huge, huge Giallo fan.
Yeah.
And a lot of his stuff, and I would also argue, and you could argue, this is not a hill I'm going to die on or anything like that, but I would argue that the first slasher movie that could be called a slasher movie was an Italian movie, Bay of Blood, aka Twitch of the Death Nerve by Mario Bava. I think when I first saw that movie, and that was before Black Christmas, okay, which was Canadian, by the way, not American. But when I first saw Bay of Blood, Twitch of the Death Nerve, I like that title better. I was like, that is a slasher movie. Like, it has there are multiple killers, spoiler alert, but it has a lot of the same tropes, like the sex equals death, like the killer POV. Like, it has a lot of the tropes that you associate with slasher movies. And that was an Italian movie. But I feel like there was a lot of back and forth, because the Italians loved Hitchcock movies. And a lot of the Giallo movies were not only influenced by Hitchcock movies, but were also influenced by crime novels by Edgar Wallace, who was a British writer. So it was kind of a cultural exchange. But like I said, it's really interesting how Westerns in particular, I feel like the Italians kind of captured that in a way that the American Westerns of the 50s...
They couldn't do it.
Didn't really accomplish, because they were just too morally
black
rigid,
and they were fucking real sanitized.
Yeah, and it's just like they weren't. I think the Italians really captured that kind of operatic, morally gray, like this, so they were a lot better at that.
Yeah,
I think that's why those are still classics, even though I think maybe a lot of people that don't know that those are Italian, but they are.
The modern American Western. Clint Eastwood, like Outlaw Josie Wales. Fucking hang 'em high. Not so much hang 'em high, but not so much that one. But Outlaw Josie Wales, High Plains Drifter.
Man, I'm not a big Western fan, but man, I love High Plains Drifter.
Yeah, okay. A lot of the ones that had Clint Eastwood in them. Those are some of the best American Westerns. What was it? What was the other one where... It was Eastwood's really last good fucking Western. Anyway, if you look at those movies...
Unforgiven?
Yeah, The Unforgiven. Unforgiven, exactly. Those are actually spaghetti Westerns.
Yeah.
And it's because Eastwood worked with Leone and all these guys. And it was like, yeah, this is actually how the Old West should be told. The Italian way. Because that's closer to what it actually
right about
was.
That.
Absolutely. And Eastwood produced some fucking awesome spaghetti Westerns, man. But they're American spaghetti Westerns. That's the way it should be. High Plains Drifter. A lot of people don't realize that's the original Crow.
That's a ghost story.
It's a ghost story. He's a revenant.
That's why I like it.
Yeah, and Pale Rider may be also. I'm not sure. I have to go back and really... High Plains Drifter, when the stranger shows up to town... He's there to punish the entire town for their fucking sins. First thing he does when he shows up is rapes a woman. And you're like, what kind of hero is this?
Yeah.
You find out later, fuck that bitch. She fucking
fuck that
she fucking betrayed her boyfriend, who was the old fucking sheriff who they whipped to death in the middle of the town. And this is the sheriff that they whipped to death returned from the grave.
Yeah, just looking slightly different.
Yeah, he just looks slightly different. Close, but a little bit different. He's a High Plains Drifter. He's a drifter from a higher plane. He's a drifter from fucking heaven.
Yeah.
They show him coming down out of the mountains. And at the end, they show him going down and down and down and down. And then they zoom in to the fucking grave of the old fucking sheriff. And he disappears he goes back to the grave.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty obvious now if you watch it.
It's obvious now, but I didn't get it as I was a kid.
Yeah.
And certain things happen to some of those bad guys. Like, how the hell did he pull him up into the second floor with a whip?
Because he wasn't a person.
Because he wasn't a person. He was a spirit. Yeah. And he was a good shot. Which that helps.
Like I said, fucking great, man.
No,
It's
but
like a Western ghost story.
the ultimate American Western movie is High Plains Drifter.
Easily my favorite Western.
Easily.
Like I said, I'm not a big Western fan. But that's probably my favorite. I do like some of the ones, like some of the newer ones, especially like fucking Nick Cave wrote one, The Proposition. That was fucking awesome. But I'm not, and I liked Unforgiven. I like all this stuff, but it's not usually. Oh, and Bone Tomahawk.
Bone Tomahawk, good. Also with Crustle in it.
Although that's, I would argue that shades over into horror movie territory because I kind of feel like for most of it, it's a Western, and then if you've seen it, when you get to that scene, if you know what I'm talking about, that is absolutely a horror movie.
High Plains Drifter is a Western movie, but it's gothic. It's almost like something out of fucking Fields of the Nephilim. That band, Fields of the Nephilim. It's the Crow. The dead has come back to fucking get vengeance on you, like the Crow.
Yeah. But he's like a revenant. He's not a ghost, really.
He's a revenant.
Which is because I kind of feel like revenant. It's like a ghost,
but they're solid.
But they're not a zombie.
No.
But they're not
They've come
a spirit
back to
either.
avenge their own death.
Yeah. So it's kind of a halfway point between like a ghost and a zombie. Kevin Evans is here.
And they're only around for the vengeance. When the vengeance is complete, they go back.
I know this is random, but there was another terrible movie called Zombie Nightmare that I saw it on MST, and Adam West was in it, and it's awful, but also still kind of funny. And the whole premise of that was this guy, the main character, he gets run over and killed by a bunch of douchebags who were being douchebags. And the mom, like, consults a voodoo priestess to bring him back from the dead. And she basically says, I can bring him back from the dead, but only until he gets revenge on all the people who killed him, and then he's going to die again.
Somebody's asking where does spaghetti western come from? Spaghetti western was a kind of a derogatory term for Italian western movies.
Yeah, because spaghetti.
Because you're like, an American from back in the day was watch these movies, and they were obviously dubbed, and a lot of most spaghetti westerns sucked.
They made a lot of shitty ones.
They just made a shit ton of shitty ones, and that was a spaghetti western. But the thing is that they had some really good dudes, and the best one was Sergio Leone. He was like a Francis Ford Coppola of the Italian cinema. He was good. Fistful of Dynamite was another one. Once Upon a Time in America. He made epic Western movies. And I think he made most of them in Spain, if I'm correct. They weren't even made in Italy. I think they were made in Spain.
They might have been. They did make a lot of movies.
Parts of Spain look like the American Southwest.
Mm.
But one of the things that made Leone different is that he used Clint Eastwood a lot. He knew how to tell a story. His edits were good. He had a fantastic fucking score. He knew how to put music. The music made everything seem extremely epic and important. And it was classical score. Opera. It was like the Italians have always been good at operatic style music, and that's what's in there. To make these low-life fucking kind of morally gray Western, Old West characters, make them seem extremely epic and elevated with this music.
Yeah, you want to go Shakespearean.
But they're dirty, they're unshaven and shit, you know what I mean? And they're doing scumbag shit. Some of them are bad guys, some of them are just like okay guys. Other ones there isn't any clear heroes. Which that's the way it was.
Just like real life.
Yeah. They were just guys you were rooting for just because you liked that one more.
Like I said, I kind of feel like people responded to that because the Westerns that were largely made in the United States were very much clear good guy, clear bad guy. And I kind of feel like when people saw the more nuanced approach, they were kind of like, oh, well, this is kind of more realistic.
Yeah, and good, bad, the ugly, you got a guy called Angel Eyes who's a fucking assassin. He's evil. Got the other guy, I think his name was Tuco. And Tuco was like a scumbag Mexican guy. But he always won. And he always came out ahead. And then you had fucking Clint Eastwood. What was his name? What'd they call him? Blondie. You never know. They're a man with no name. They're Blondie. That's what they called him. And he was the white guy. And they were all this interplay and these long stories of what's happening between all three of these guys. And you kind of like all of them. Lee Van Cleef played Angel Eyes. And he was like a extremely evil assassin with heartless. But you kind of liked him. Because he was about his business. This is just how he did things. He was paid to kill people. That's what he did. There was a certain amount of virtue to that. He didn't even question it. He was just extremely cold. And the stories are about those three guys. And Tuco was like a boisterous Slav, fucking over the top, uncouth. But when it came right down to it, man, he knew his guns and he was a good shot. He was good in a gunfight, Tuco was kind of cool, even though he's clownish. And there was kind of this love-hate relationship between Tuco and fucking Blondie, who was Clint Eastwood. Clint Eastwood is the closest thing to kind of like a hero out of the good, the bad, the ugly. But he kind of does Tuco bad sometimes. But Tuco's getting in trouble all the time. But they had this grift where Tuco would fucking commit a crime. He committed a crime. There's warrants out for his arrest. And Clint Eastwood, fucking, I'm calling him by his name, fucking Blondie would turn him in to get the fucking reward money. And then during the hanging, when they would hang him, fucking Clint Eastwood would fucking shoot the rope that was hanging. He'd run down there and rescue him and then run out of town. And then he'd take him to the next town and try to collect the reward again.
It's a pretty good scam.
And that was their scam. And he's like, yeah, but I'm doing all the work here. I'm the one that they're hanging. And he's doesn't really want to share the money.
I could literally die.
Yeah. I'm the one that's got to be hanging all the time. Where's my money? You give me.
Why don't we switch up?
Yeah.
Once in a while.
They were doing that for a while,
I get it.
It's just.
I get why he was mad.
Yeah. Blondie. Yeah. I gotta see that shit again. Now, one of the ones I wanted to see, it's kind of a lost one from him, was Fistful of Dynamite, which involved a motorcycle, an early 1900s motorcycle, and a guy throwing dynamite instead of fucking pistols. I remember it as a kid. I saw it as a kid, pieces of it, but I don't remember the story. I want to see it again.
Kevin Evans, by the way, said a lot of these spaghetti westerns were influenced by the samurai movies, like Seven Samurai.
Yeah, Kurosawa.
Yeah.
Well, also Zatoichi movies, which I love Zatoichi movies.
Yeah, I like those too.
Yeah.
We have the whole. Oh my God, you guys! Like, is it Criterion or no?
No, I got the Criterion. That's Lone Wolf and Cub.
Oh, okay, yeah, I got you.
Which is the original Mandalorian.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, if you like the Mandalorian, please see Lone Wolf and Cub, which is where that idea came from. But all the Zatoichi movies, wasn't there like a box set that had like 20? If there's 20 something.
There's a box set that has 100 something movies in it.
It's like
for like several $100. Yeah.
They're good though.
Yeah, but they evidently people say they get kind of repetitive.
Well, they do, but it's the same character, and it's just kind of like, and it's the same setup.
Zatoichi was a blind yakuza. He was a masseur. He would massage people, but he used that as like an undercover thing. And he was a real good yakuza. A yakuza is a gambler. He would gamble in all the houses and chase tail. He was blind, and his blind man's cane concealed a fucking sword. And he was a fucking excellent fucking swordsman, deadly. And the guy who played him was Shintaro Katsu, also known as Katsu Shin, and he was a singer.
Yeah.
And would get in trouble in Japan for snorting cocaine. I think he accidentally killed somebody on a set.
Whoops.
With a fucking sword.
Well.
They were all friends though.
Yeah.
But Katsu Shin would fucking sing really good. And there's a really good song that he sings in character of Zatoichi, the blind swordsman, called Darkness Is My Ally. And you guys will like it. It's a real fucking, it's real deep and it's real kind of bluesy, slow. And what happens is he pulls into town and he's real self-effacing, you know what I mean? He hates the fact that he's fucking can't see and he's carrying venereal diseases and shit, so he doesn't want to spread it. Eventually he gets to that. And and he falls into some kind of service with some gangsters, and then he finds out that the gangsters are fucking over some chick. They sold her off to the brothel, and they did the shit under fucking bad pretenses, and it was her boyfriend that was really responsible. He's the one that got into debt in the first place, and Zatoichi's trying to get her out of prostitution and buy her freedom. But it doesn't go right. He's got to kill a lot of motherfuckers. And
Pretty much how it always
at the end, he fucking loses it. Usually he starts, you motherfuckers, every time I come to a town, this shit happens, and I got to kill every one of you bitches.
Would you stop making me do this?
I'm trying to just be a regular man. You know,
look what you're making me do.
Look what you're making me do. I'm trying to save all. You made me into Captain Save-A-Ho, and I wasn't born for to be Captain Save-A-Ho. You know, it's fucking funny. You know,
he still does it though.
Yeah, he still does it, but then he can't have sex with him. He doesn't want to get him.
Well, that would make him less sympathetic.
Yeah, he saves him even though he can't have sex with him.
Yeah,
because he doesn't want to get him sick. It's just fucking funny. Yeah. Although I think that happened later. That was in the later movies. Was one of the developments. Is that he got venereal disease,
and he didn't want to give it.
Well, he was hanging out with all the hookers. You know, but
shit happens.
When you say the word yakuza, you think of like a gangster.
That's what the modern
but that's not what a yakuza was. A yakuza was a wild gambler, a wild westerner.
Yeah, he would just go from town to town.
He would just go downtown
and gamble. That was how he made his money.
Yeah,
but he was kind of pudgy and blind, and so
he didn't look intimidating.
Yeah, so that was his secret weapon.
Yeah.
Because he would just go and also he was a really good gambler, so he would win fuck tons of money, and then everybody would cheat, and everyone would get mad at him.
Yeah,
and then he would find out what shady shit was going on in this town, and then he'd have to fix it.
He could cheat if he wanted to. He knew all about cheating, and he would set them up because they knew that he knew that they knew he was blind, and he would set them up so they would cheat him, but then he would catch them in the cheating and say, he goes, "Oh, I see. You guys think because I'm blind, I wouldn't know what their dice read."
Oh well.
And then they're like, then they get all fucking, then they get all fucking. Oh, I understand now. I understand. You guys thought you could cheat me because I'm blind.
That's right. Fuck over the disabled man.
I understand. Next thing you know, he kills all those dudes.
Yeah.
You know.
And rightfully so. I'm not mad about it.
Yeah, exactly.
And he wasn't faking being blind. In the context of the movie, he is actually blind.
Yeah, but he could hear how the dice hit.
Yeah.
He could tell you what they read.
Yeah.
Which is totally unrealistic. He could
hear, but in the context of the movie.
Zatoichi could hear a candle flame.
Yeah.
And run through a house and cut the tops off of all the candles.
When you think about it, it's kind of like what's that Marvel show?
Like Daredevil.
Daredevil.
He's like Daredevil. Yeah.
Because you don't have your sight. Obviously your other senses become heightened, which is true. That does happen. But obviously in Marvel and in the Zatoichi movies, it's way more than probably in real life. Although one thing, I did see this one guy. This is I don't know why I just thought of this. But I did see this one guy who could do, he was blind also. And he could do like a bat could do. He could do echolocation. And he could go I guess he just learned it when he was a kid or something like that. He's like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if I learned how to echolocate like a bat? So he could just kind of fucking ride his bike around and stuff. He never hit anything. He just ride a bike. You would never know that the dude was blind, walking around or riding his bike around or anything like that, because he could do echolocation legit like a bat, which I was just kind of yeah, I guess that could work. Maybe, and honestly, maybe a lot of blind people do it without realizing that that's what they're doing. I don't know, but I was impressed. Let me see. Kevin Evans also says Yojimbo is awesome and the one movie that influenced A Fistful of Dollars. Yeah, I've been meaning to see that for such a long time. I'll get around to it one of these days. Some people are telling us about World Cup stuff, which, man, I don't it's funny that they're having the World Cup here, because I kind of feel like most Americans don't really care. I kind of know more about soccer, I think, than regular Americans, because for a long time, my first husband was British, and he was a big soccer fan. So I used to go to soccer matches like all the time. And he actually followed the team that was in Tampa. I don't even remember what they're called now. So we used to go. We had like fucking season tickets, and we used to go to that shit all the time when we lived in Tampa. So I know more about it. But even then, I'm not a big sports fan. You know what I mean? I know the World Cup's going on, and I know people care, but I don't really care.
You know what I mean? About Yojimbo. Yeah, Yojimbo was good.
Yeah. I haven't seen. I don't think I've seen it, but it's one that's been on my list for like a long time. Camp Guy says American Beauty is my single favorite movie of all time. I've only seen that one time. I think I saw it in the theater when it came out, and I remember it being like really, really good, but I haven't seen it again since then. And he also says, I like Fight Club 2, both made the same year. 1999 was a great year for movies. It was, like a lot of great movies came out that year. I probably should rewatch American Beauty now that I'm thinking about it. I remember really, really liking it at the time. I saw so many movies back then. I guess it was just because that's when I still lived in Daytona and there was like nothing else to do. And we had a dollar theater. So we would just like wait. Like me and my friend we would just wait like a few weeks until like the big movie came to like the dollar, so you could go see it for $1. So if it sucked, you didn't care. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was all right.
Better than doing nothing.
Yeah, and so we used to go like all the time, like pretty much every night. Like I'd stay at her house or whatever, and it's like, man, let's go to the movies. It's only $1. I don't give a shit if it's bad or not. Most of the ones we saw were good though. I still vividly remember, and this must have also been 1999, maybe. I vividly remember going to see Stir of Echoes, which is legit still one of my favorite horror movies of the 90s. And I'm still salty that it got overlooked because The Sixth Sense came out like a month before it, maybe not even that long. They were in the theater at the same time because I remember seeing both of them like within a week or two of each other. And everybody went to see The Sixth Sense. It was like the second highest, grossing movie of that year. And everybody was talking about that. And everybody forgot about Stir of Echoes, which was loosely, I will admit, based on a Richard Matheson novel. Oh, that reminds me. Over on my other channel, if you're interested, Scare Salon, I did a book versus movie comparison of Stir of Echoes. So if you're into that, because it's a lot different. The book is good and the movie is amazing with Kevin Bacon, but it's a loose adaptation, but it's still a great movie. And the book is good too, but like in a different way. That movie, when we saw that one, I used to like going to movies with her because she always wanted to go see horror movies, but she was like, they would freak her out, or she was like scared of them. And I was kind of like, the horror nerd. So I was just kind of like, yeah, it'll be fine. Like, so, it was very, very rare, like for a horror movie to scare me. So we went to see Stir of Echoes, and it was late. Like we went to like the last show, which was like 10:20 or something like that. And so when it let out, it was like past midnight. It was almost like 1 a.m, and we had to like walk to the car, and that movie freaked me the fuck out. Like I've seen it a bunch of times now. Like it's obviously not as scary anymore. But when we first saw it in the theater, ooh, that movie scared me so bad. And she was like, we have to watch another movie like before you can go to sleep. We had to go home to her house and watch a comedy before she could sleep because the movie like freaked her out so bad. Like I said, it doesn't scare me anymore because I've seen it a bunch of times. But when I first saw it in the theater, whoa, that movie like freaked me out really bad. It was like pretty creepy. It's still a great movie though. And like I said, I'm still mad that Sixth Sense like kind of stomped on its dick and people forgot about it. And it was David Kemp. David Kemp wrote it. Same dude that wrote the screenplay for, I think he wrote the screenplay for Jurassic Park, and he might be doing the new Steven Spielberg movie that's coming out with Disclosure Day or whatever it's called. It's the same screenwriter. But it's based on Richard Matheson novel, but the core of the story is the same, kind of. But all the rest of it, like the approach of it is kind of like completely different. But it's interesting the way that it's different. That's why I wanted to do a video about it, because I really like the book and I really like the movie, but they're like completely different things, other than them being the same general story, kind of, but everything about them is different. Camp Guy said Monsters Ball is probably the most harrowing movie I've seen. Oh, I saw that in the theater too. I remember that being really good also, but I've only seen it once. Karen says Nightmare on Elm Street scared me as a kid, especially when she had a dream in class. Honestly, that the first Nightmare on Elm Street, like the other one, I like the other ones too, like the sequels, but they made it too much into a comedy. The first one was like legit scary, the one that came out in 1984. And honestly, that whole sequence where she falls asleep in class, but you don't realize that she fell asleep, and you see her friend Tina like in the body bag, like in the hall, like calling her out into the hall, and like, you know, her fucking ooh, that like fucking freaked me out. And you know what the main thing about that scene that freaked me out? Not so much the body bag or anything. Like right before she sees that, she's sitting in the classroom, and there's another student in the front, like reading from Shakespeare play. Might be Julius Caesar. I can't really remember what play it was, but he was reading from the play, and he's reading normal, but then like all of a sudden when she falls asleep, but you don't realize when that moment is, and then his voice goes like real flat and like kind of whispery and stuff. Ooh, that like that gives me chills. Like it gives me chills like right now just thinking about it. For some reason, and I've tried to figure out why this is. But, and I think I've talked about this on my other channel, and I've talked about it on my blog and stuff like that. Because I'm always trying to examine, like, why do some things in horror movies, like, freak me out, and other things don't freak me out. One thing that freaks me out is when people's voices change, like, inexplicably. Like, you know, I'm going to give example of that. Like I said, in Nightmare on Elm Street, like where his voice suddenly just goes like when he's talking normal, but then his voice goes like that freaks me out. You know the scene in Who Framed Roger Rabbit where Judge Doom is talking kind of normal and then his voice goes really high pitched, like suddenly, that freaks me out. In The Shining, where the kid is like mumbling red rum and then his voice goes super high pitched, that like freaks me out. And I don't really know why. Like, it just, there's something that freaks me out. And there's a thing that, and I've talked about this too, like that David Lynch does a lot with, like, it's not really a doppelganger thing. Doppelganger shit freaks me out. Like, if you ever seen the Denis Villeneuve movie Enemy, like that, which pretty much the whole thing is about a doppelganger with Jake Gyllenhaal. That kind of freaked me out, that whole shit. But he has a thing where people will be, you know, the scene in Lost Highway, the very famous scene in Lost Highway with Robert Blake, where he's at the party and he's talking to Bill Pullman, and he says something like, you know, call your house, I'm at your house right now. Oh, ooh, that like fucking freaks me out. And I don't know why. I've like examined it and I'm trying to figure out, like, other shit that's in horror movies like doesn't really scare me. You know what I mean? I love horror movies of like all kinds, but if something's gonna scare me or like freak me out, it's gonna be something random like that. It's not like gore, it's not jump scares, it's nothing like that. That doesn't bother me. But shit like that bothers me. I don't really know why. I've tried to like examine it and I'm not really sure why. Kevin Evans says, have you seen Iron Lung? Not yet, but I'm going to. That's another one that's on my list. I got like super behind like on newer movies. But yeah, that's another one that I've been wanting to see. And Hokum, I want to see that too because I love Damian McCarthy did Oddity and Caveat. I reviewed both of those, and both of those are fucking excellent. Like, Oddity was easily one of my favorite top 5 movies from 2025 or whenever that came out, or 2024. Just really everything about that was like super well done. And I will argue that Oddity, the opening sequence of that, like when she's in, I don't want to spoil it if you haven't seen it, but like when she's out at the house and the dude comes to the door and he's basically saying, hey, someone's in your house or something like that. Like, wow, that was like one of the best, most like tense opening sequences like I've seen in a very long time. That was like really well done. That whole movie was like really good. So I definitely want to see Hokum because I know that's the same director. But I've reviewed his other 2 movies. Camp Guy says it's freaky to have a vivid dream with your dead parents in it. I used to have them more frequently, like once or twice a year, but now not so much. I still have a lot of dreams with my dead grandma in them because I was very close to my grandmother and I lived with her for a long time. And I mean, I was always at her house. Even when I bought a house with my ex-husband, we only lived like a mile away. So I would walk to her house like on Fridays, like if I had the day off or something, and I would hang out with her. And you know, she died of stomach cancer. And you know, I went to visit her at the hospice and all that other kind of shit, and then it was kind of a bummer, but I have dreams a lot like where she's still alive and that are set at her house still. And they're kind of freaky, but they're kind of some of them are kind of comforting though. But some of them are also kind of disturbing. Just gonna say. But I have a lot of dreams about her. Just like I kind of have a lot of dreams about, I know this is kind of weird, but I also have a lot of dreams that are set in my grandfather's old age. Now, my grandmother that I'm talking about that died, that was my dad's mom. The grandfather that I'm talking about was actually my mom's dad, so on the other side of the family. And he had this creepy house that was on South Ridgewood Avenue in Daytona Beach. It's gone now. It's been torn. It was torn down like a long time ago. He was a hoarder, and it was so you know it was not in great shape. But it had been built in the early 20th century. It was so cool, man. I loved that house when I was growing up, and we lived there for a long time. Like when you know my parents were poor, like we would move in there for a little while. And the whole first floor was hoarded, but the second floor was still like pretty much okay. Like he would keep that for, you know, family members. He had 8 kids. So it's like sometimes somebody, you know, was hard on their luck. Like he had a couple bedrooms and apartment up there. So you could like live up there. And I have set so many of my horror stories in that house. I have so many like dreams about that house. I wish it was still there. I really do. There was something like kind of magical. And the weird thing about it is my mom and all her siblings, she had 7 siblings, they grew up in that house, and to a person they all told me that the house was haunted. They're like, "Man, we grew up there, but we had our covers torn off us. We used to hear somebody walking around on the roof like all the time." And when I was a kid, man, I love spooky shit, still do. And I was just kind of like, man, I really wish when I was living there, I'm like, man, I wish I could see some ghosts or like, but I never did. And I was like so disappointed. I never heard anybody walking around the roof. I never had my covers pulled off or nothing. Like the house was creepy, but I never thought of it like, oh my god, it's so creepy. Like there's ghosts. It was just creepy, but like in a cool way. But I always wished it was creepy, like in a haunted way. But it never felt haunted to me. Sadly, maybe I'm just too rational for that shit. I don't know. But they all used to tell me stories about it, and I was like so jacked because I was like, "Ooh, I'm gonna see some ghosts like walking down the hall or something." But I never did. I never did. And the house is gone now. They put a fucking frat house there because that's um right across the street. Like even when I lived there, Embry-Riddle University, which is an aeronautical university, they train pilots and stuff. And it's pretty Daytona's pretty famous for that. And they had a bunch of frats and sororities, and a bunch of the frat and sorority houses were on the street where we lived. And there was a big frat house right across the street, so they would have big parties and shit. And when they tore his house down eventually, they built another frat house there. So but I think that's what's there now, unfortunately. All right, I gotta go to the bathroom and I'm gonna get another drink. So you gotta talk.
What am I going to talk about?
I don't know. I'm sure you can think of something. Look at Pookie knocked Spock over. Why? You don't need to go in the closet, Pookie. Come on now. She wants to go in the closet.
All right, let's see what I was saying. Kevin Evans talking about Iron Lung, a pretty good Lovecraftian movie. I didn't see that one. What made that one Lovecraftian? In Eyes Wide Shut, there was backwards basking music in there. I don't remember that. out of Eyes Wide Shut, that was actually kind of one of the strangest movies by Stanley Kubrick. I liked it. He's just trying to tell us what what higher class people were doing in terms of these sex parties.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, don't leave me out. I gotta hear something.
No, I was talking about Eyes Wide Shut.
Oh.
Yeah. He must have been talking about fucking weird shit happening in like places like Epstein Island and stuff. But well, here's the weird thing is that if you're in the goth scene, you're also kind of connected with shit that happens like in the fetish scene.
Yeah, there's a big overlap.
There's kind of an overlap. And I have a hard time picturing super rich people being cool. So I don't really know what it was they were doing. Because you would think they'd be nerdy.
Yeah, I always kind of feel like there's like, ooh, we're doing something like
we're doing something naughty.
Taboo and something like that. And we're just like, yeah, and
whatever.
Whatever. We'll do that shit for free. We don't give a shit. But you know what I mean? Depending. But like I said, there is a lot of we've been doing this shit for a long time, and it's just like there's a lot of overlap. It's not 1-to-1, but a lot of fetish people will come to goth clubs and vice versa.
Yeah, so we see them.
So we see them all the time. It's like, I've been to fetish parties. Like, it's not that big of a deal to us, I guess, but it's just, So I think that's why, because Eyes Wide Shut, that was another movie that I saw in the theater. And I think when I saw it, I didn't like it at first because I was just kind of like, it didn't seem like that big of a deal to me. It seemed like that he was trying to make it seem like, ooh, look at this nefarious, and I was just like, what? It's just like a regular party. I don't really I don't really understand like why they're making such a big deal about it. Like it didn't really seem like that weird to me. So I like it better now. But I definitely think it was more shocking to certain segments of the population, maybe. I guess. I don't know. I didn't like it when I first saw it. Because even when I went to see it in the theater, like, I was a huge Stanley Kubrick fan. You know what I mean? But Stanley Kubrick and David Lynch are my favorite directors, like, of all time. And I don't think that's ever going to change. John Carpenter's up there, too. But, you know what I mean? And, so Eyes Wide Shut, that was his last movie. And so I was, like, super jacked to see it. And then I was kind of, like, disappointed. Plus, I don't really like Tom Cruise all that much. I know you're going to defend him, but I don't really like Tom Cruise all that much. And so when I saw it, I was just like, I think they were trying to make a bigger deal about it than it warranted, I think is how I felt about it. But I like it better now that I've seen it 4 or 5 more times. Because like every other Stanley Kubrick movie, you have to see it like multiple times, like to get all the fucking nuances and shit. It's still probably my least favorite movie of his, but I don't know. I like it a lot more than I did the first time I saw it. If that makes any sense. Did you want to, Oh, Kevin Evans says, I actually never seen Eyes Wide Shut. I've been meaning to watch it for a long time, but I never got around to it. Yeah, it's like, don't go into it. I don't really know what to say. Don't go into it expecting too much, because like I said, I kind of feel like it's better with multiple watches. I really didn't like it. I didn't dislike it when I first saw it in the theater. But I was disappointed. I thought it was kind of like, oh, that's it. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't really, I don't know. I was expecting more, I guess. But the more times I've watched it, like, I appreciate it more. But like I said, I think it hits different if you're coming at it from like somewhere where like a party like that would be shocking, like our parties like that would be shocking, which I wasn't coming at it from that angle. So it's like, to me, it didn't really seem like that big of a deal, I guess. It's just kind of like, remember how back in the 80s and 90s, like they had those movies, especially in the 90s, I feel like, because that was kind of like, ooh, everything was like super edgelord. And like they would do the movies, and there was always a scene where maybe did Blade have a scene like this? Where there was like a scene where somebody would go to like, ooh, the underground club, and there was like chain link fence, and everybody had mohawks and shit like that, and all kind of crazy shit was going on. And like you would see the scene, And like if old people like us that had been doing that for a long time was just like I don't really see what the what the deal is here. Like it's not really that big of a deal. But and it's not that realistic either, you know? So I think that's probably what it was. But I think that was some of the issue that I had with Eyes Wide Shut. But I like it more now that it's like taken out of the context of its time, I guess. Camp Guy says Clockwork Orange is his best. I mean, I agree. Like Clockwork Orange and The Shining are easily like two of my favorite movies of all time, of any genre. And I will happily watch them over and over and over again. Matter of fact, I've probably seen The Shining and The Clockwork Orange at least 24 times each, if not more. Probably more. I think I've seen The Shining more times than A Clockwork Orange, but I don't know. I don't know. Shit, man, I think we just watched The Shining again like a couple months ago. Because we're like, why not? You know what I mean? I have it memorized, but I don't give a shit. Every single time. The thing about Stanley Kubrick's movies is that every single time you watch them, you see something else that you didn't notice before. And he's like really one of the only directors that I think you can say that about. Like you see some new little angle or some new little thing or some like every single time. And like I said, I've seen The Shining and I've seen A Clockwork Orange like dozens of times. But every single time I watch them, I see something else in it that I didn't notice before. Kieran says, I've studied The Shining. Yeah, I feel like a lot of people have. There's whole documentaries about like fucking conspiracies about that. Most of which I think are bullshit. One of the first shows that we did when we started the show was about The Shining. There's a documentary called Room 237, which is about some of the conspiracy theories. Like I said, I think most of those are a reach. But he absolutely put like a lot of symbolism and shit like that in there. You know? So I don't think it's pointless that people find all that stuff in there. I just think most of it is... Some of it's they're seeing what they want to see. You know what I mean? Like the stuff about, he faked the moon landing. That's obviously bullshit. You know what I mean? But he did put a lot of stuff in there on purpose. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying it's all bullshit. It's just some of it's bullshit. Kieran says the color rotates throughout the film. Yeah. And I kind of feel like a lot of filmmakers use that, like color symbolism. And the reason why it works is because it's not super noticeable most of the time. So it's kind of like subliminal. And I think he uses a lot of that too. And the thing that's cool about him, especially in The Shining, is that he uses a lot of like spatial disorientation, like, but without being really overt about it. And the fact that the Overlook Hotel in the movie, even though it's based on a real place, because like Stephen King, stayed at that hotel in Colorado, and it's like he based it on that. But the fact that they built that as a set for the Overlook, so he built it exactly the way he wanted to build it, like it was his specifications. And if you lay out the floor plan, it really doesn't make any sense. And he did that on purpose, like to be disorienting. Like there's a window here and there shouldn't be a window there, like in Ullman's office or whatever. It's like there shouldn't be a window there. You know what I mean? From what you see from the rest of the hotel, that should be like, the back of another room or whatever. And but the fact that he did that, it was just like little shit like that. He was just trying to like disorient you, and it worked. I mean, because to be honest, the first time I saw The Shining was when I was, let's see, it came out in 1980. When I was 8 years old. I didn't see it in the theater, but I saw it on, I don't know how many years it took before it came on cable. So I was probably like only maybe 12 when I first saw it. It scared the shit out of me, that movie did. And I feel like I didn't really know why at the time. Like, obviously, like, the lady in the bathtub and all that other kind of shit, like, in the red rum shit, like, freaked me out. But, I kind of feel like the more times I've seen it, the more I can appreciate all of the shit he does to, like, unsettle the viewer. And a lot of the stuff is not obvious. And and that movie works so well just because a lot of it is just not overt. You know what I mean? It's just kind of, it's subliminal. And I think that's why it works so well. That's why I don't really like I like all kinds of horror movies, but I don't really like ones that are like super reliant on just like jump scares or just kind of like the formulaic, oh, everything's getting quiet and then bam, and then like it makes a loud noise and like in your face and stuff. And it's like, yeah, that's effective for like a second, like you'll jump in your seat, but it doesn't really stick with you. I kind of like stuff that is more insidious, you know? So stuff that's more subtle to me like works better. But, I know not everybody's like that. And I'm not shitting on people that like jump scare based horror. Like if you like that, that's cool too. But it's just like it's not really my thing. Because it's very easy to just kind of go boo and like, scare somebody that way, like make them jump. Like that's easy. Like you can just do that by making a loud noise. It's much, much harder to make something that's just like dread inducing like the whole way through. And I think that The Shining is really good at doing that. And that's a long ass movie. And it just kind of sustains this like horrible feeling of dread the whole way through. And a lot of times I feel like you're not really aware of why you feel like that, And I think some of it is, like I said, the stuff that he's doing behind the scenes, like that kind of spatial disorientation stuff. I kind of feel like in a lot of David Lynch's movies, and I don't know if this is talked about a lot, but I think about a lot of David Lynch's movies are because of the sound design. And David Lynch was very, very into that. And he was just really aware of how sound influenced people's emotions. And so there's a lot of that going on there, but it's very, very subtle. Like it's not super overt. But you just are watching this movie and you're just freaked out and you don't really know why. I like shit like that. Like stuff that's a lot more subtle. Mm-hmm. Karen says Twin Peaks was scary, especially Bob. Yeah, I mean, fucking Twin Peaks was... Man, I still need to do... Because probably like a year or two ago, I just rewatched all of Twin Peaks. And I was like, man, and I bought the third season on, Blu-ray. And I was just kind of like, man, I need to do like a whole like mega review of the whole Twin Peaks thing. And I never did it. And I should do I wanted to do the movie, like, Fire Walk with Me and all of that. I just never got around to it. But eventually I will. I promise. I promise. But yeah, that was like super freaky also. Klaus says that's a series all children should see before school. Should they? I don't really know if they'd get it, but you know what I mean. Gramther says, Gramther's is here. I haven't seen you before now. I'm in Jackson Hole, Wyoming with family on vacation. Oh, that's right. I remember you were going on vacation. We had dinner tonight at a big Western lodge. I told my wife how it reminded me of The Shining. You've always been here, Mr. Torrance. Yeah. I can imagine. It probably always kind of looks like that up there. Camp Guy says, everybody knows about the Martin Scorsese cameo in Taxi Driver, but did you know there was a second cameo where he is prominent on the screen? Man, I don't know, because I haven't seen Taxi Driver in a really long time. Did we actually review Taxi Driver?
I don't know if we did or not.
Oh, we probably should. I'm going to look, but we've done so many movies over the past decade, you guys. I know I meant to get to it. I just don't remember if we ever did. It was just like when Gramps was saying about Galaxy Quest, and I was like, wait, did we not do Galaxy Quest? I thought we did, but maybe we didn't. I always have to go back and look. I know I've seen it. It's just, I don't really remember if we reviewed it or not. Because, we've been doing this shit a long time, and shit starts to run together, honestly. What you doing over there?
I'm talking to fucking the Conan people. We're dealing with the comments on there. Sorry.
Dealing with the comments in the Conan.
Yeah. I didn't know what he was accusing him of. Fucking dude was accusing him of fucking of a Protestant king in England killing Catholics back in the... I don't know. What the fuck's he talking about? It was just it was an Irish drunken fool.
I mean...
He's still fighting Irish Catholic wars or something. I don't fucking know. What
I'm a drunken fool too.
Yeah.
But
we do have some people from the UK over here. Are all Irish Catholics drunken fools? Look, I don't understand.
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go that far. I mean, I drink a lot too, obviously, but it's just kind of like, one, I don't go comment on random ass YouTube videos when I'm drunk because I can't even fucking type and I don't even want to bother. But man, I've seen some comments, not only on some of our videos, but just on random videos where it's like, does this person have undiagnosed schizophrenia?
Yeah,
or what is going on?
There's a lot
here?
of very strange comments.
Because like,
YouTube.
what are you talking about?
Yeah, and the dude was actually
for real,
actually talking to my friend Austin. It was a fucking video about Conan. He just mentioned that Americans didn't want to like listen to religious denominations. They didn't want the Pope telling people what to do. They didn't want whatever. And they got this guy fucking...
I don't want anybody telling me.
Some guy went on about how dare you disagree with having the Pope tell you what to do. I guess, fucking... And he starts going back to shit that happened in Ireland between Catholics and Protestants. And fucking like, dude, we're not Irish and we're not Europeans. In America...
I'm a motherfucking atheist, though.
Yeah,
like,
in
America,
America,
don't give a shit. What are you talking about?
In America, religions are a joke. Okay, even the people that take them seriously, it's a joke. It's part of our entertainment industry. We don't take any of that seriously.
Especially some people do, but we don't.
Nah, they don't. They're not taking it seriously. That's all LARPing. Southern Baptists don't take any of that fucking shit serious. You crazy? They'll give up money, but it's all just virtue signaling, and then they're chasing hookers and shit. They don't take any of that shit seriously. They're
like, well, I can do all this stuff, but God says I'm forgiven, so it's okay.
They're happy clappies. In America, church is just happy clappy.
Yeah, it's fucking weird. It's just, I don't
it's
fuck.
A joke.
I don't fuck with it.
It's a joke.
It's just, I think the whole thing's ridiculous. But you know what I mean. DVD Dragon says, Tom, I saw the He-Man movie.
Yeah.
That guy was not nearly as yoked as the cartoon. What stack would be necessary to get as jacked as the action figure or cartoon?
Okay.
And was Castle Grayskull just a PED lab?
Yes, all that shit was PED ads.
Man, my brother had that Castle Grayskull. That was a badass playset. I'm not even a boy, but I was like into it.
I was too old for Castle Grayskull.
Well, I had a little brother
when it came out. Okay, I was already fucking probably like in 10th or 11th grade when that shit came out. That was like something little kids played with. But I was looking at that and I was going, "Those motherfuckers are ripped." Their proportions were fucking bigger than Arnold. It looked fucking crazy as shit. But you know what's funny is that a few years later, in the 90s, the IFBB professional open class bodybuilders were that size. They got that big. If you're willing to do what it takes, you can get that fucking big. You don't want to be that big.
I wouldn't advise it.
You don't know. You got to take a lot of shit. And people say, well, you got to work out all the time. No. You do have to lift.
But not as much as
as you think. Not as much as you think.
Those drugs are
doing
most of the heavy lifting in that regard.
You do have to stimulate muscle growth. You have to eat a lot. But the amount of shit they were taking leverages growth. It's just like, it's amazing. I've been on heavy doses of shit. Just moving sometimes wears you out. You're like, oh man, I got a good workout. Walk up the stairs.
I was just going down to take my laundry and put in the washing machine.
Like, oh man.
Now I need a nap.
Whoa. And it's because fucking civilians don't know what the fuck don't really know what you're talking about. They'll go out and work out and they get sore and they're sore for a couple of days. Oh wow, that's hard. Once you start working out, you don't get that at all. You work out, nothing. You'll either grow or you won't grow. Usually if you're not on anything, you just won't grow. You work out, you get tired, you stop, you eat, but you don't really grow more than what you did. Anabolic steroids and testosterone put your body in a condition to fucking just grow. You'll be able to lift a lot of weight on that shit. So you're very strong, but you get tired earlier. and you get the feeling that you never really get that sore feeling, but the next day you can tell, yeah, I can tell that shit, I'm growing. You just sit around like a lion eating. Even on gear, you're only working one muscle group, say like upper body muscle, one muscle group a week. You're not working. People think, oh, you got to spend fucking all these hours in the gym. Not really.
Even those guys are just hanging out in there.
They're hanging out in there. It's a social club. Hey man, yeah. Listen.
They're not like music. Working out the whole time.
Yeah. Well, they're gonna do.
They're just sitting there.
They're doing. Then they're gonna do some real obscure shit. Oh, I'm gonna do some of them.
Then every now and then they'll be, like lift weight like 3 times, and then they'll like sit around for another.
Yeah, I'm gonna do one of these little obscure fucking.
They're not like working out the whole time.
Yeah.
Don't let them fool you.
And then they're talking. Because
they're just farting.
Working out, lifting doesn't make you bigger. Working out destroys muscle tissue. What makes you bigger is the recovery phase of you eating and just resting and sleeping and growing. So a lot of it's done while you're sleeping. That's when and that's what these dudes are leveraging. Guys that are on all that gear. They're leveraging the recovery phase. They'll lift a bunch of weights, but the shit will all take place. Like say, I'm going to do fucking bench. And they'll make like fucking 3 sets of fucking maybe like 6 repetitions, but it's fucking 340 pounds. That's it. It takes 15 minutes. You're done. You can't work that anymore. It's highly concentrated work. You did all that work in a small point. You go, well, okay, should I work my lower body? And you go, no, let's let the upper body grow first. All the healing will go there. Because if you're going to throw the lower in too, now you got your whole body you're trying to heal up and grow. And you may not be on enough steroids to do that. So it might be better to just say, I'll just do these fucking 3 reps of fucking 8. And it's like 500 pounds, and I'm good for the week. And you go back and just eat, sleep, and inject steroids, and you'll fucking grow. So this is the fucking secrets that I'm telling you bitches, because I'm truthful. I'm truthful to the whole fucking movie. This is a movie. Through the whole fucking movie, I'll tell you that muscle isn't made in the gym. It's made in the bed when you're sleeping during recovery phase.
I mean, you got to do the stuff, but
you
don't have to do that much.
It's not as much as you think.
It's a lot of weight, but it's just like
it's concentrated into a very short amount of time.
And then the rest of the time, you're just stuffing your face and sleeping.
Now, some of these guys will say, well, the thing is, if you have a bunch of repetitions, you get hypertrophy. If you fucking do heavy weights and it's not that many, it's only like 3 reps, and you're just training for strength, you won't get any better. None of that's just proven. I've tried everything, and it always seems about the same. If you lift weights and you eat and sleep, you get bigger, especially if you're on testosterone. If you add steroids on top of that, any kind of anabolic steroids, and they're not all the same, but any anabolic steroid on top of it, you'll grow. And it is all dose dependent. If it's just a little bit of steroids, you'll grow a little bit better than you would if it was just, if it wasn't there. These dudes that are fucking becoming as big as He-Man that he's talking about, you don't understand the ungodly amount of shit that they're on.
Yeah, it's a lot of shit.
It's ungodly. It's like 5 times what I take. Most I've ever taken was like 500 milligrams of testosterone in a week and 1,000 milligrams of like maybe nandrolone. Although actually it's mixed with like nandrolone and NPP, which is another form of nandrolone. Different esters of it. I've done that for like a couple months at a time. And you pick up some fucking size and some strength and some... But it's not a miracle. The dudes that get gigantic, they're like on fucking 3,000 milligrams, 5,000 milligrams for like years at a time. They'll take a break, but the break is like a couple weeks and they switch to another one. Well, I'm on this steroid. I'm going to go on to another steroid that'll do something else. So it's just the amount of the steroids and how much they're eating, because that size has to come from somewhere. If you're not going to eat, you're not going to grow. But they eat a lot. But to be as big as Conan, He-Man, to get those proportions, it's going to take a couple years, depending on where you start from. If you're starting from 0, you're a little skinny wimp. That's going to take 8 years probably to get there.
Not impossible. You can do it, but you're going to have to take a lot of stuff.
You're going to see a big change in the first 18 months. You'll go from fucking skinny, nothing, to like, oh, man, that's a decent looking dude. And then progress will start slowing down a little bit. And then it'll be like improvements. And then in those last 3 years, if you really start pounding, he'll get fucking big. But it's just, no one is going to be able to answer any of these questions definitely, because this is not a science. It's more like an art.
Well, everyone's different.
Everyone's different.
Everyone reacts to things different.
Yeah, everyone's going to react to it differently. Everyone's going to have a slightly different experience. You tend to arrive at the same destination, even though the path that you took to that definition to that destination might be a little bit different. I'm constantly changing things. I don't use a lot of stuff, because my goals aren't the same as a guy who's trying to be as big as He-Man. Dude's trying to be as big as He-Man. He's trying to go to Olympia. And the Olympic competition, most dudes can't make it because you just don't have the genes to do it. You just can't handle that many drugs. Something breaks somewhere. And here's the thing, man. It is not healthy to get that big that quickly. It takes time for your body to adapt to all that new mass, to grow fucking veins and capillaries and the blood supply system to supply all that shit. If you try, pretty much every dude that I've been watching over the years that died under mysterious circumstances. But one of the things that was in common is that he was young and he grew very quickly. So it just goes to show you, the faster you're trying to grow, the more dangerous it is. It's better to do it slowly.
Well, that's true of any kind of like big body change, weight loss or anything. Like if you do it too fast, it'll
too much body change too quickly. It's better overall to be in the middle and give yourself fucking 5-6 years, 10 years. You know, it's not a sprint; it's a marathon. And here's the thing, savor it. It's fun to get bigger. It's not fun to get small. If you try to go too fast, they'll get big, they have fun, and boom, then something goes wrong, and then you're small again. Because your body couldn't handle that amount of change in that period of time. I'd rather have a slow progression up than to have a fucking real fucking sharp spike and then fall off the edge, you know? Fuck that.
Karen says, how would steroids or testosterone mix with anxiety medication?
What's that? What'd she say?
How would steroids or testosterone mix with anxiety medication? Karen asked.
Well, it might make the anxiety medication obsolete. May not need to take it.
Well, I guess it would depend.
Yeah, it depends on who you are and what the situation is. We talk about a male or a female?
Male.
It's a male asset? If you start on... The testosterone protocols are very cookie cutter. If you're in pretty good condition, they're going to give you 200 milligrams a week. Then they might give you something like Clomid or HCG to keep your fertility going. In other words, so your nut's still working. If you don't care about that, you don't have to take that. You can just take just the testosterone, and then you will be on hormonal birth control for a while. I'm at the point now where I could be on a shit ton of test and steroids, and I'm still shooting live rounds. And it's because that's the new normal for me. So I shoot off live rounds. It's not as, let's just say the amount of it isn't quite as much, but you could still, it's still enough to get somebody pregnant. Okay.
Yeah, we're just not worried about it.
She's not worried about it because she's not fertile, and I'm not really fertile.
Yeah, because I'm postmenopausal, so it doesn't really matter.
So it doesn't really matter. Everything you do with these testosterone and steroids is temporary because your body can adapt to any of that shit over time. Most of the shit you're going to read, they're talking about short-term side effects, what would happen in the next 6 weeks or the next 3 months. That's what they're talking. Man, I've been on that shit for fucking years. So my body doesn't notice it the same way as somebody who is just jumping on it. What was the question again? Yes, I forgot the question.
How would they interact with anxiety medication?
Yeah. probably what happened, okay, testosterone itself, if you're a male, well, it happens with the female too, because Jen's been on some. You feel really confident on it, and like you have a very can-do attitude and very positive. So you probably wouldn't need it. You might have anxiety because your testosterone is low. Having low testosterone has a lot of fucking side effects. Weight gain, negative fucking mentality, feelings of fucking uselessness and depression. Almost kind of like, ah, fuck it, I don't care if I live. You're like that. You're almost like suicidal. You're like, yeah, shit, it don't matter. You're like that. Jen saw it.
Mm-hmm.
It really gets bad late 40s. That's the beginning of your dying process. Is to just cut the test out of it. Now, if you put the test back in there, especially if it's a healthy dose, all that will go away. And
almost immediately.
Almost immediately, she saw it happen. You'll go, oh, no, I feel good. Oh, no, this is great. You start getting your second wind. You start losing weight. You get real positive. You start getting interested in sex again. You become like, hey, you know what? As good as this felt, I want to do better. I'm going to fucking get jacked as shit. This is going to be great. I love this. You know, I got nothing to lose. I'm just gaining. So it's like, it's biotechnology, and it's wonderful. Wonderful. The only thing I regret is that I didn't start getting on this shit when I was fucking 35. I should have been on this shit at 30, 35. It would have been much better.
Yeah,
because there would have been no decline.
At least you did.
Yeah,
and you didn't really get that bad.
It was starting,
but it was really starting where you were just kind of like, man, I'm an old man now.
I'm an old man now.
I don't give a shit. Blah blah
yeah,
blah.
Yeah.
Like
Jen's like, what?
You were getting kind of. I'm like, you're not old. I was like, you're only a couple years older than I am.
No,
I don't feel like an old person.
I feel like shit. And I said, this ain't right. And I went, this is kind of reminds me what they said about low testosterone. So I went to a testosterone clinic and they did my fucking blood work. And they go, oh yeah, your shit's fucking rock bottom.
It's like way low.
Yeah, you got the testosterone of an old man. And so they put me on that shit and I was hyped up. Now they're going to say, now here's the fucking greatest fucking thing. It's the biggest scam in the world with doctors and general practitioners. They're going to say, oh, your testosterone is normal. Yeah, your testosterone is normal for a 50-year-old man. You fucking suck. And
they're saying there's nothing to be alarmed about.
Nothing to be alarmed about. You're dying. Okay. So this is what we're going to do. Here, take this diabetes medicine. Take this antidepressant. They're going to give you a bunch of other shit because they make commissions on that. They don't make commission on testosterone. It's not patented. It's been off patent for a long time. When really, if you just take that testosterone, then you'll feel a lot better, and a lot of that other shit will just disappear. And then they're going to say, oh, well, then your prostate. Man, fuck all that fucking prostate shit. Fucking, as soon as I started doing all tests and shit, first of all, there's no studies that say that testosterone has anything negative impact on your prostate gland. They want it to say that because they don't want you to take that. When they first started to synthesize or try to synthesize testosterone in the 40s, they were synthesizing it to alleviate prostate problems. That's what it does. Your prostate will actually get smaller. It'll go back to normal because now you have the normal. Well, I don't have a normal amount of testosterone. I have a fucking super physiological amounts of testosterone. I have superhuman levels of testosterone. About like 3 times what a human has. The more, the better. So there's no normal. Just especially when you're old. When you're old, you got a lot of repair to be worked on. You're trying to fucking catch up on a lot of genetic damage. So fucking put a shit ton of that. You can't put a shit ton at first. You got to work your way up to it. Start off with 200. Then 6 months later, if everything's going good, fucking double it up to 400. Everybody agrees that 400 is better than 200. I say 600 is even better than 400. Now, when you start pushing 1,000 milligrams of testosterone, there's kind of like diminishing returns. It's not as targeted. It's not tissue specific. You have to have test in there, but if you want more, once you get above around 600 milligrams, you want to start putting in fucking some kind of an anabolic steroid because it has a much higher overdose point and it can still repair a lot of muscle and a lot of tissue that's in your body that above and beyond what testosterone can do. Now, if you've been a user for a long time and you can easily handle 600 milligrams, some guys who have been in the heavyweight fucking IFBB bodybuilding divisions has said that, well, secretly we were taking a lot of testosterone. Like, well, how much? They're like, oh, 3,000 milligrams of it. I was like, oh shit, because by the book that you're not supposed to do that. But one of the real heavyweights is like, you have no idea what 3,000 milligrams of that shit will do to your body. It's fucking awesome, you know. I haven't tried that yet. I've never had any more than 1,000, and I didn't run 1,000 for very long, maybe like a couple weeks. But he was saying like 3,000 for like 4 or 5 months at a time. Said that it just totally reshapes you. You become fucking Superman, you know. And I'm looking good now. Really, recently, I've lost a lot of weight. I've lost a shit ton of fat. I'm only 163 pounds.
Because we're on
down from 190.
GLP-1.
And I haven't lost any fucking muscle. I've only lost fat.
That GLP-1 did work on us, I will say that. I've lost about 22 pounds on it. Like I said, some of that's because it kind of makes me feel nauseated and I don't really want to eat. But, you know, that's not the only reason that it works. But let's see. Tiny says double the boner.
Well, testosterone can give you a sex drive. You'll want sex. Whether or not you can deliver to the amount that you want to, because you want to have sex so bad that you'll fucking outrun the ability of your own dick to keep up with it.
Yeah.
So you want to fucking also take things like Cialis and Viagra.
Yeah, it's good to like temper it because...
Yeah. If you got a bunch of Cialis and Viagra in you, you can fucking have a whole orgy, you know. You're having fun. And you have the drive to where you want to do it. It's just the way it is, you know. But I'm trying to get down to 8% body fat, which I have to lose probably another, I don't know, it's hard to tell. 6-7 pounds?
Yeah.
It might be about a month away.
I wouldn't mind dropping another 10.
Another 10? Yeah.
Another 10, 15.
I got the drugs to do it. GLP is fucking...
But we'll see. Like I said,
GLP works.
I mean, like I said, I've lost 22 so far.
Yeah.
And and the weight is all coming off from where I want it to come off. Like, because I was like,
the midriff.
I was like afraid that it was like, oh, please don't come off my ass or my tits or anything like that, because that's where I want the fat.
Yeah.
I was like, I just mostly want the fat off my face and my midsection.
Yeah, it did it.
And it did it.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of like, okay, good. That's what we're doing. So
GLP, I've done clenbuterol, I've done T2, T3, which is thyroid stimulants. Nothing compares to GLP-1. GLP-1's fucking instant.
And it doesn't work for everybody because we have friends that are on it that it's not really like it's working.
They kept fucking eating.
Well, that's true, but it's like you know, but it wasn't working as much. I think it worked on us because one, I'd already been working out. Two, like it. I'm not gonna lie, like it does make me feel really nauseated.
It's
so it's an appetite suppressant. So honestly, like. Whereas before I'd be like, yeah, I'm hungry. Now I'm just like, I'm like the other day, like yesterday or something like that. I literally went like, I hadn't eaten for like 30 hours.
Yeah, it's an appetite
and I was just kind of like, didn't even care.
It's an appetite suppressant, but it also like fucking gives you a much better insulin response.
Yeah.
So you metabolize food.
And I for sure can't eat as much. I couldn't eat that much before, but it's like now I really can't. Like we come home from the club, you know, we'll stop at McDonald's. I don't get fries. I don't get a shake. or coffee or a shake or nothing. I just get a sandwich. I can't even eat that. I eat like half of like a chicken sandwich and be like, nah, I'll eat the rest tomorrow. I just can't eat it. I'll get nuggets. I eat two nuggets and I'm just like, I can't eat anymore. You know what I mean?
Now, Camp Guy says, I'm taking prostate medication that affects some type of complicated enzyme hormone sequence that does something to my... no, you know, they're just fucking you up, probably. I don't know what your problem is, why they give out shit. They give out shit because they make money on it. I don't know how old you are, how fat you are. How fat you are has a lot to do with it. If you're a real fat dude,
Camp guy is not. He's older. He's in his 60s, but
60s?
I'm pretty sure he's not fat. Though.
He's not fat. Okay. General practitioners, or when they talk about testosterone, oh, got to be careful with that. And I look at the dude, and he's a fat dude. He's a fat fucker. The doctor is. You always judge the advice of your doctor by how your doctor looks. If he's unhealthy, don't listen to that dude. You know, he doesn't know what he's talking about. If he really was into that shit, he would look fucking fantastic. He'd be on the fucking best biotechnology you could imagine. He'd be the tip-top condition, you know, which there are guys out there like that. But you look at him, he's a slob. Why would you listen to him? They're glorified drug dealers, really is what they are. They're just trying to give you drugs. They make money on them.
Yeah.
After 30, men need testosterone because you're not making it anymore. You weren't designed to live very long. You weren't selected for that. If you put the testosterone in there, you'll live a lot longer. And you'll want to live. You'll feel a lot better. Put a bunch of testosterone in there. Get used to it. Go be active. Eat good food. Stay away from carbohydrates. Eat protein. Fresh vegetables. Party. Dance. Have sex. Fucking, you know, if your wife doesn't want to have sex, go get you a hooker. Do something. Have fun. Get positive. Testosterone's the deal, though. And then after a couple years, if you're in decent shape, then you can put anabolic steroids on top of that and work out, and it'll help rebuild your body. And if your body was never built, then you can build a new body. They got guys in their 60s that are just fucking amazing. Look at that dude, and I'm like, how the fuck is that possible? When I was a kid, it wasn't possible. It's possible now. And did that dude go to a doctor for that? No. The doctor would give him bad advice and tell him, hey, come off all that.
I think they just give you conservative advice because they're afraid of getting sued.
They're afraid of getting sued. They're afraid of getting sued. They're afraid of all
it is.
kinds of shit. The medical system, especially the American medical system, is highly corrupt. It's about selling drugs, patented medicine. Yeah, because there's patents on it. And they want to get the insurance companies to pay for it. That's all it is. It's not about health.
Granther says, wasn't there some recent club drama to share?
Yeah.
I think we mentioned that on
I want to talk about that.
You don't want to talk about it? It's so funny, though. Because you specifically said on Wednesday that you would talk about it on Friday.
Fuck, man. That's kind of a downer.
It's not a downer. It's funny. I think it's funny. Well, it's kind of funny.
Almost had to fucking ban this chick.
I think we've talked about them before.
She's an ex-stripper. She looks good. Big fake titties, skinny. Her husband's good. He's a nice guy. But she just bullies all the other girls and gets into all kinds of trouble and fucking...
They've been kicked out of everywhere.
They get kicked out of restaurants. Who the fuck gets kicked out of restaurants?
They got kicked out of Barbarella a long time ago.
For not paying.
Because they kept trying to sneak in the back through the back patio door without paying.
Yeah.
And they did it a few times, and then, like, they wouldn't buy any drinks at the bar, and it's just kind of like... Which some people don't. They just buy water or whatever, but it's like, that's allowed.
Yeah.
But... You know, if you keep sneaking in the back and then, like, going out to your car to drink and then coming back in and not spending any money, then, like, they're going to get upset about it.
What I did was I gave her a warning. She'll be and she's going to fuck it up. No, I'll kick her out.
Well, what happened
I gave her
was...
a warning first.
These were people that I'm not going to say what their names are, but they showed up... How long ago was it?
Over a year now.
It was like a year or so ago.
Yeah.
They showed up and... I guess Tom started talking to them because he's like, oh, who are these people? They look like they know what they're doing. I think they first showed up at Barbarella. And they seemed kind of all right. Like, he seemed all right. She seemed kind of a weirdo, but whatever. And they said, yeah, we used to be, big in the goth scene back in the day, but it's like, then we had kids, and it's like, so we spent, like, a long time, like 16 years, I think they said they were out of the scene, and they, like, raised the kids, and the kids are grown now. So it's like, we're coming back out. And I was like, okay, cool, fair enough. But then, I don't know, like, just the more I talk to, but more her, like, he seems all right, but, the more I talk to them, or more I talk to her, like, I was just kind of like, ew, what's up with this chick? I don't know. And then a while later, like we found out they got kicked out of Barbarella, and we were like, well, why did that happen? So we asked the bar manager, who doesn't work there anymore, but he used to work there, and we're like, what the fuck was that all about? Like, why did they get kicked out? And then we found out why they got kicked out. Oh, it's like they weren't paying, they kept sneaking in the back, and like, because it has like a back patio door, which you can just walk there from the parking lot, but it's like, that's not cool, don't do that. So yeah, so they were doing that, and they had a thing, mostly her, like I said, where they hadn't been out in almost 2 decades. Nobody knew who they were. But they came out with this kind of attitude of, oh, everyone should just bow down because we're obviously better than everybody. And
nobody knows them.
And nobody knew who they were. Yeah. And it's like, but they were acting like they would, like, we were at Abyss one time, which, you know, we know Dimitri, we've known him forever. And we promote for that night and all this other stuff. And so she would say stuff to me like, oh, well, you know Jen too. Like, she was surprised. I was like, yeah, I've known her for like 20 fucking years. Yeah. Like, where the fuck have you been?
They didn't realize that everybody else knows everybody.
Yeah, and so like they were acting like they were like queen of the world, and I was like, nobody knows who the fuck you are. Like, we've all been here. Like, you have not.
She didn't know that we could ban her.
That too.
Yeah.
And so they got kicked out of Barbarella, and then we didn't see them for a long time. Last Friday, they showed up at Abyss. I thought, I was under the mistaken impression that they had also been kicked out of Abyss for some reason, because they hadn't been there in such a long time. I was like, oh, they must have got kicked out of here too, because they get kicked out of everywhere they go. And they act like they're persecuted or something. Yeah. But it's just because they're, well, mostly her, like I said, but they're just obnoxious and they cause trouble, like, everywhere they go. So they turn back up. Yeah, they turn back up. And almost immediately, from what I could determine, this guy that we know, I don't know him super well, but he's been around for a long time, and I've, talked to him. He's in the graphic design industry. He owns a print shop. So we were talking about that, and he's into horror movies, and he's seen my reviews and stuff. So I was talking to him a few weeks, and she said that he deliberately pulled her hair, and that because, like, he was out on the dance floor and he was pulling her hair, and that because he was a gay man, that he was trying to, like, get with both of them,
even though I don't think he's something gay.
I don't think, no, he's not.
He's married.
He's not gay.
Yeah.
And
she imagined that part.
And he came over and he said to me, he's like, look, this bitch just went like fucking nuclear on me. It's like, I touched her hair by accident. Like, I was dancing and like my hair, like, my hand hit her, because she had like this, like a fake ponytail, like a big hair kind of thing going on. And they were dancing, and there's not a lot of room, and I guess he hit her head by accident or something, and he was like, oh, sorry, or whatever, and she flipped the fuck out.
She wanted to make a deal out of it.
And she was like, well, I want him kicked out and all this other stuff. And he comes over, he's like, bitch, I didn't do anything. He's like, you know what I mean? And he's like, it was an accident. And he's like, I told him it was an accident. And I was like, dude, it's okay. Like, she's crazy.
Everybody knows who that is.
Yeah. Like, everybody knows that bitch is crazy. I was like, you're fine. Don't worry about it. No one's kicking you out. But then she sends this big ass long message. Did she send it to Dimitri or... Who did she send that to?
She sent it to me and Dimitri.
Oh, okay. So she sent it to you and Dimitri.
Dimitri didn't answer. He wanted me to answer it.
Yeah.
Because I had to gatekeep it.
Well, Dimitri he's the DJ.
I got to protect him.
He's neutral.
Yeah.
He doesn't like to get involved.
Right.
So a lot of times Tom has to do that stuff, which, like I said, I get it. Like, and he's very he's like me. He's very non-confrontational.
See, here's the deal. You do not want a pissed off customer to be able to go online and say, that DJ right there did this and this and that.
Yeah.
Even if they don't believe it, it just sounds bad. It's better if somebody else takes the blame, so the DJ isn't to be blamed for it. So he hits me up and goes, look, man, look at that message she sent us. I was like, okay. So we talked about it for hours, how we're going to handle this bitch. And I went in there and just handled it. And he goes, I love you, man. You handle that shit so well, man. Fuck, we're going to have dinner today. Yeah, I know. Because if he says anything to her, it's going to give her ammunition.
It's going to be a big,
It's going to give her ammunition to go out and say some other shit. She'll take screenshots of fucking what you said. So I had to be real diplomatic.
Even though, like I said, nobody really knows them.
Yeah.
They act like they're like king and queen of the scene, even though
Nobody knows them.
nobody knows who they are.
Yeah.
Which is weird. But so it's like, so even if they ranted and raved, no one would listen to them.
But they would just.
But they can cause a lot of
She'll
problems.
just keep fucking at it over and over again.
Like in this big message, because Tom showed it to me.
All kinds of weird shit.
Yeah, all kind of weird shit. She's like, oh well, everybody hates me because I have big boobs, and you know, and she thinks everybody thinks that we're swingers and everybody's hitting on us. I'm like, bitch, nobody's hitting on you.
Thinking
like,
of you.
No one thinks about you.
Yeah.
Nobody knows who you are. Calm the fuck down.
Because we're religious.
Because we're Christian and everybody's like persecuting us.
Like, no, you're not Christian either. Not
Yeah.
from what I've seen.
And like from what I've seen from her posts on social media, I think she legitimately believes that witchcraft curses are real.
Yeah, witchcraft. People are putting witchcraft curses on her. It's the weirdest thing ever.
It's and I got this impression because you guys know I've talked about that chick that has recently returned to the club that I don't like. And that bitch is like a fucking attention whore and stuff like that. This is like 100 times worse. This woman, I think, is like legitimately mentally ill. I think there's something the matter with her. Because I've like only talked to her like long term, like a couple of times. But she's very, very catty. She's very passive aggressive. She knows that her whole thing is like backhanded compliments. You know what I mean? And she clearly thinks that she is like the shit. Even though, like I said, no one's thinking about her. Nobody knows them. But she thinks that every single time that somebody like breathes in her direction, that they want to fuck her, or that they want to fuck her husband or steal her husband. Like, didn't she say some shit about like some other girl? Oh, everybody wants to steal my man or some shit like that. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like legit, it's like delusional. So I don't know how this is all going to work out, like I said, because I mean they can't come to Barbarella, so thankfully, so they don't ruin our Saturdays. So they're not allowed to come to the Axe Trap, so they can't come to Memento Mori either. But as far as I know, they're not banned from Abyss yet, which is just like once a month. So they can still come there and cause trouble, and I really hope they don't, but like I said, it's not so much him, it's mostly her. I don't know why. They've been married a long time, like 20 years. So it's like, and they have like 3 teenage kids or something like that. But it's just like, I don't know why he puts up with it. Like, cause she seems kind of like a nut. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see how it, shakes out. But I felt so bad. Like for that guy, like I said, I don't know him that well, but you know, I talked to him like a couple weeks, you know, a couple, times prior. And you know, he was just like, he's like, legit, I did not do anything. He's like, I just accidentally like, you know, hit her hair like with his hand or something, like when he was dancing, and she like flipped the fuck out and wanted him to, I want him kicked out, I want this, and everybody's like, shit, like fucking chill, Jesus Christ. And I don't really understand, because remember how we always say about these people that like show up at, you know, goth clubs or goth nights or whatever, and we don't know, nobody knows who you are, and you come in there and act like you're king shit or whatever, and everyone's just kind of like, who are you? Like nobody knows who you are, and it's like no one cares really. So I don't really get, and that's kind of the vibe I get, and I got that when they first started showing up. Like they very, very clearly thought they were just gonna show up, and it was very look at me energy. And I just got the feeling that I don't even know, like, I know that they told me, I don't remember if they said they were from here, but I know that they said that they hadn't been out in a long time, like 16 years, I think is what they said. And that they used to go out back in the day, which they probably did. They're like our age or maybe slightly younger. And, so it's like, okay, fair enough. But it's just kind of like, some of us have been coming out all that time.
Cat's jumping on me, asking me for stuff.
Aw.
I don't know. She's rubbing.
But like some of us have been coming out all that time, and you guys have not been here all that time. So nobody knows who you are. Like the younger people don't know you. And so to just come in and act like you own the place when nobody knows who you are and are acting like that, like all entitled and stuff, like that's not gonna fly.
It didn't fly.
They
won't be there much longer.
It's not gonna fly.
She can't behave.
Yeah,
she gets kicked out of restaurants.
Yeah, and
how the fuck do you get kicked out of a restaurant?
And the weird thing about it is that I've seen her post about it, and they're like posting about it like it's some kind of like they're super persecuted or they didn't do anything or something. And it was just kind of like,
Well, she was dancing around in her little slut outfits in the middle of the day in a fucking restaurant with her fishnets. She's an ex-stripper.
Yeah.
Oh, and they were posting videos of her, and the restaurant's like, we don't want you in here.
Yeah, and it's like,
fuck out of here.
Yeah, and it's like, and somehow that's like persecuting them.
Yeah.
So they go around like with their little victim complex.
Yeah.
Like doing like outrageous shit and then being like, oh my God, we're so oppressed. Like, it's what the fuck? Like, I don't really get that. That's really annoying. Yeah. You know what I mean? But it's like, so we're going to see how it goes.
Yeah.
And then, so like I said, thankfully, our Saturday nights at Axe Trap / Barbarella, they're not allowed to come there. So we had a relatively stress-free night, although that other chick that I don't like is there.
She's not being in trouble, though, really.
No, but Saturday night, I told Tom, I was like 90% sure she ran into me on purpose.
She is ditzy, though. I don't know.
But I am giving it... I told him, I was like, look, okay, I'm giving her 2 more strikes. I was like, because 3rd time is enemy action, right? That might have been an accident. I don't think it was.
2nd time's coincidence.
I don't think it was.
3rd time's enemy action.
But I'm not going to do anything.
She got that shit from me.
I didn't do anything. No, I've heard that from my brother.
You've heard it before, yeah.
A long time ago.
It's true. That's the old saying.
Yeah, I know. I heard that a long time ago. Or maybe from my dad. But I was kind of like, I don't think it was an accident, but I didn't say anything. I didn't do anything. I didn't fucking look at her. I was just kind of like, okay, I see how you are. I was like, I'm not reacting at this point in time.
Yeah.
But if it happens again, and then if it happens one more time, okay, I'm gonna let it slide. But it happens one more time after that.
Klaus is saying clownfish, whatever that is. He's in his own world. He's on.
Yeah, I don't really know.
He's on our channel, listening to the show, talking to everybody else in the comment section. It has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
No, I know.
Yeah, it's the Klaus show. And then his wife's in there fucking like putting him in timeouts. She timed it
because he's just talking about we don't even know.
Yeah.
Granther says if they left and came back. Granther said if they left and came back, is there a way to tell they aren't actually goth apostates? I don't know, man. But like I said, I don't know where they were all this time. They've gotten kicked out of pretty much everywhere, and like I said, they can't come to the Axe Trap, so they can't come to Barbarella or Memento Mori because that's where that is.
They probably good because the dude that kicked him out isn't there anymore, but fucking they might back him up and say, no, you can't come in.
Well, I don't know because the guy might have told JR, like the door guy, and
JR might not fucking give a shit.
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't fuck with JR.
It's almost 11. Let's go ahead and shut this shit down.
All right. So we are going to shut the shit down.
We're going to shut this shit down.
As Tom says, because it's getting kind of late
Negan
for
says
us.
that shit. I'm here to shut this shit down.
Is that where you got that from?
But they fucked that character up. That whole series got fucked up. I saw a video on the rise and fall of The Walking Dead and when all that shit went sideways and everything. I was like, yeah, it kind of did. Yeah, I stopped watching it. They just said it's just boring now.
Well, I haven't seen it in a long time.
Yeah,
so I can't really speak to it. But yeah. All right, so we are going to wrap it up for this evening. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the discussion this evening. Sorry we lost the internet and we had to go to a whole other stream and all that. I'll kind of I'll take down the one that wasn't anything, and when I do the audio version, if anybody listens to the audio version, I'll kind of marry them together so it's not in 2. But the YouTube one I'll probably just leave in 2 parts because I'm too lazy to fix it. You know what I mean? All right, so hopefully you guys have a good rest of your Friday evening, wherever you are in the world. Hopefully you guys have a good weekend. We'll be back on Monday evening for the movie review. We have a couple movies, a couple that Gramthers has recommended, a couple of other of you have recommended also. So we will probably do one of those, but I'm not sure which one yet. So yeah, hopefully you can join us for that. Have a good weekend, and we will see you guys again on Monday. Good night.